Hello, we are live, and I'm
I'd like to show you something.
I love the chase and the hunt, and I set the pace when I'm running. I always take what I want, and I always give it 100. Don't need a bank, no, I'm funded. Play the game like it's nothing. I'm always thankful for something. Don't take for granted, stay humble. Now wake up! It's time to look at the enemy. Look in the mirror if he is no friend to me. It's not working out, maybe it's the chemistry. It's time to break up so I can make a better me. Better believe in your mind, 'cause it's everything. You can mold, shape, find almost anything. All it takes is some time and some clarity to find your identity. It's mind over everything. And when I feel like this, I'm immortal. When I feel like this, I'm immortal. When I feel like this, I'm immortal. When I feel like this,
You have to ask yourself one question: do I feel lucky?
Good evening. Welcome, one and all. Good morning, good evening, wherever, whenever you are. How are you all doing tonight? We got a crowd broiling its way all up in here, and I am all about it. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Toxic Tuesday. Hopefully you're all doing great. Yeah, as RJ Godzilla 81 said, what day is it? Toxic Tuesday. No, well, yes, but no. It's Independence Day. You're here for a reason. You know why you're here. This ain't no accident. So let's blaze through, bring in these names, introducing, and we're bringing the dudes as well. It's gonna be a hugely diabolical panel. Unfortunately, we won't have Mark with us, because he's out having real life stuff because he gets to have a life too. And in case you all forgot, this will be our last episode for a few weeks. So probably get 3, maybe 4 weeks at best. And then in August, we'll be coming back long, hard, and strong with Western Month. So when we come back, we're going to come back big league style. So it'll be the longest break we've taken by like another week or two. But trust me, it's going to be diabolical when we come back. So, and we're going to come back with a whole lot of guns, a whole lot of hookers, and a whole lot of Clint Eastwood maybe as well. So anyways, let's acknowledge some human beings. Champion Duval, Matthew Marzillo, Juggalo, Benoit Deathcock, Alabama Wyatt, Nav Shergold, Nick the Greek, the Gilded King, Vince Womack. Hopefully that stays as a child. Vulcan lives. How you doing, sir? My friend Dave C. How you doing? Davina Duckworth. Whoa, it's Snortopoopas Cuber. I have not seen you in a very, very long time. Welcome back, sir. I hope you are well. Thank you for being here tonight. I love to see that you are around. This is awesome. Hey, Cavatino, Cavalryman Shay. How you doing? Commenting is Dangerous Steven. M. Cal Earl. How's it going? Keely Chow. Hello. Phoenix Knight 0811 Alpha. What's up? RJ Godzilla 81. Pioche Helicopter Tours. D. Bud Martin. How's it going? And Jonathan Conroy, Steve Mitchum, hey, Disheveled, hey. Says nice to catch, dude. Yeah, happy America Day. Oh, that's right, man. We're celebrating this party a little early, but that's fine. There's never an inappropriate time to be celebrating this. Mars Monkey Max. All right, let's bring in the first dude. We'll bring in the dude who kind of got this show started, even though I didn't tell him he was going to start.
I know. I'm just sitting there like you just went live and you left me on there, and I'm like,
oh, that was on purpose. I did that on purpose. And you also have your hand on your face. It looks really weird and gay, but just so you know, like
I'm doing my Jack Benny.
Like on your
Rochester.
Like for your mouse, when you have the hand in front of your mouse, it's right on your cheek. You can leave that there if you want. I think your guys see it too. But there's a literal hand on.
Yeah, I want to get one of those little hands because some of the other guys have those on the other show with Loki. And I want to get one of
Yeah.
those little tiny hands to just have it hold up my face.
You want a little handy? You want a little handy from Randy?
Little handy Randy.
Yeah, a little handy Randy.
I love that shit.
Oh yes, he's the first one to get probed. It's what we expect. How you doing though,
I'm
dude?
excited about this movie, by the way. I'm doing okay, as well as can be expected right now. But it's just chugging along. That's all I do. Chug along. I'm excited about doing Independence Day 'cause this is like Anima was talking to me about it. She goes, I did not like that film very much. I said, well, I fucking love it. I love it with or without its clothes on. Independence Day is a great fucking movie. And
Dude,
these guys did something, they did something that nobody else had done. And finally, when they got to show it in a special premiere showing, George Lucas approached him and said, you should have got a hold of me. I would have helped you with those effects. It's like, no, we did exactly like you did. We created our own visual effects department.
No disrespect to George Lucas. I mean,
none.
Actually, so, hold on. That's a half truth, half lie. No, nothing personal. But George, there's some things you don't get right on. And this is one of the things where they're fine without you. But anyways, good to have you here, Backdoor Gerry. Thank you.
I'm always glad to be back. I hate it when I miss a show.
One of your many services, because we don't just thank you for your service, but we thank you for your other service as well.
By the way, before we skip to the next person, Thursday I'm interviewing my old friend Fahim Fazli on Dangerous Military Nerds. It's Thursday night at 9:00 Central Time, and he won't confirm it with me because he can't legally, but the rumor is he's already hired to be in Superman, the new Superman film, and he's listed on an Internet Movie Database as Afghani tribal leader. Yeah, go check that out. No?
Yeah.
Put that in your pipe and smoke it.
Well, you could put those things in your pipe. I won't stop you. Anyways, we had that 70s rock fan here.
Boys, Brian,
who's been reading and waiting. It's just
I too would like to thank Gary for his cervix.
Sorry,
that's all I heard. I
always feel weird when I say the problem I have with my spine is in the cervical area, and someone will go, "Men have that?"
Well, good evening,
I've had that
gentlemen.
happen.
Good evening to you, 70s. How are you, sir?
I'm very well, thank you. It's such a pleasure to be doing this movie. I mean, I've never. Every time these cities and Washington D.C. in particular gets obliterated, I laugh my head off. It's my favorite comedy movie of all time because of that. I'm like, yes, they did it. They destroyed all those places. I was cheering the aliens on all the way, but no, it's a movie. I remember seeing it at the cinema and going, "What?" Couldn't wait to go back in again for the second viewing.
Yeah,
well, Clinton was still president, so when the White House blew up,
it felt like a mega event. I remember I'm gonna age a lot of you, and I'm not sorry for this, but I was 9 when it came out, and I remember seeing it in theaters at 9 years old, and it felt like a mega event when this came out. Like it was just one of those things where, and it was a perfect year too, because this was right around the 4th of July, 96. It was also the first year of the second repeat of the Chicago Bulls with the 72-10 Bulls. That was when they were the most unstoppable. 1 month, a few weeks after they won it all in the championship. So it was a time to be alive in the world. And it shows you that between Michael Jordan being beloved worldwide, Will Smith being a leading man in a movie,
proving is the start of his big budget sci-fi chops.
Oh yeah.
And he's done a lot of great big budget sci-fi in his time, and there's a lot of bad ones too. But he was doing some good. This was the start of the good ones that he did.
Oh yeah. Well, it showed he was a great leading man in these big blockbuster movies. But we'll get into that because we got several dudes in the back door waiting, and I'm sure they don't want to wait all night. Like Tom Connors. He wants to be up at the front.
He likes turtles.
I definitely don't want to be in the back door.
Oh,
How you doing, buddy?
Bottoms up.
Doing all right, getting good grades. My future's so bright, I gotta wear shades.
I like turtle.
I know you like turtles. I'm just glad that you're here and you'll have turtles with you to talk about this. We saw your new turtles earlier. It was great.
You
he had
did.
nude
these-
turtles.
Oh, I love
Ooh.
it. Love it. Love it. Love it. I'm going to zoom in on you really quick. Show that turtle off. Oh, dude, that's the cream
Look
frige.
at that.
That's cream frige. La, 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 la. Cream frige. Cafeteria frige. Frige. Oh, yeah.
You know, I never noticed that the Teenage Mutant Ninja
Oh,
Turtles.
one more
tube
time
thing.
at that. One more time at that one. Oh, that's the best posing
look at
one. That Donatello.
Oh my
one.
God! There's a cat attacking you. Look out! Looks
Only
like
the
a
turtles can
skunk.
save you.
Yeah. All right. Good to have you here, Tom. Glad you could be a part of the action for this one. And I was telling the other dudes, we definitely got to include you on the list for when we have our month of Westerns for August. So it's going to be great. So I hope you
Hopefully
bring
they're
at least
ones I've
one
seen.
to the table.
I think Paint Your Wagon is Tom's favorite.
I haven't seen it yet, but I have it.
And
You actually
meanwhile-
have Paint Your Wagon?
Yeah, it just came out in
You
4K.
should. It's a great movie.
Holy shit! I love that movie, dude.
Yeah. I was born under wandering.
Hi, red
star.
shirt.
I've been waiting 28, is it now, years to use this line. Hello, boys.
Hello, boys.
In the words of my generation,
Oh, man.
Up yours.
He was abused sexually. He was abused by them sexually.
Oh, no. This is one for the ages for Toxic Tuesday. This is phenomenal. Cannot
I
wait.
fly. I'm pilot.
Mhm.
We are one day away from being exactly 28 years to the date that this movie came out. So this is the closest we might have ever actually done something of a Toxic Tuesday where it was close to the theatrical release. So it's cool to like have this one lined up. It's one of those ones. But good to have you here for the extravaganza red shirt. Let's have fun tonight as it's going to be our last one for a few weeks. So let's go out with a diabolical bang. Is that right, Dustin? Welcome back as well.
Dustin.
Glad to be here. Oh. I heard that Gerry tried to get on the ship. He wanted to run their anal probing department.
Oh yeah. I mean, who wouldn't?
I think Gary and Randy Quaid's character have a lot in common.
Shitters
Up
full?
to a certain point.
A little bit.
Their
a little
shitters are
bit
full.
out
Yeah,
there.
neither of them can fly
right,
a plane
Nick.
worth a damn.
That's what he did. They're both outstanding in their field, except it's the wrong field.
It's the field they own.
It's a field of screams.
I've tried to
Well-
play, games where you fly, actually fly jets
Games
and
or
shit.
games?
I can't do it, man.
I can't do
crash every
flying
time.
games either. I hate them.
It's good to have you here, Dustin. And well, of course, we got last but not least, per the Dix division.
Why did you just
It's
put me there? What
Jesus.
are you doing?
I know where I want to put you.
You're
He
on
always
the
puts
bottom.
me
You're
up next to
underneath
the
me
logo.
now.
I'm always
Yeah.
next to
Wow,
the logo.
Tom's. I got a sandwich between Tom and Nick here. That's great. First of all, I want to correct a couple of things that Nick said. Okay. All right. First of all, in the United States, this was released on the 2nd. So we are literally on the anniversary. And the second thing I want to correct is he was not 9 years old yet. He was 8, because I was also 8 when I saw this in the theaters. We're both born
You're right.
literally the
You're
same
right.
We all
fucking
know
time.
that.
So don't even give me that.
I was
That's true.
16 when this came out. Yes, I remember they moved up the release date of this movie
I was 33. I was 33.
because it was originally supposed to be released, I believe, on the 3rd, and then they moved
I
it
was-
up to the 2nd. Yeah.
Yeah. So Yes, happy anniversary to this movie, and yeah, this movie's fan-fucking-tastic, bro. Like, this gave me so much fun stuff when we were kids. Like, oh my gosh. Well, not just I never got any toys because we were the poor kids, so we just played like it was Independence Day, and we're all like, "All right, you're gonna be the alien. I'm gonna punch you in the face."
In Britain, it was released on July the 4th, so we were more patriotic than the Americans.
Oh, we're so patriotic that we just jumped the gun, bro. You know, Americans, we jumped the gun so we can start.
We don't have
celebrating
Independence Day anymore. It's Independence Week. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, what do you mean? Fireworks start in March.
So okay,
Right?
yeah. I want to mention
They already
on the
started
sign,
here.
There's a few
signature from Buzz Aldrin.
Yeah.
And I had to mention this because my buddy Juggalo Deathcock is in the chat. We went to a metal fest 10 years ago, and we decided, hey, we should go to Washington, D.C. And we went to D.C. This was on Memorial Day, the actual day of Memorial Day. And we saw a parade going on. We took a quick glance at the parade, and Buzz Aldrin was part of the parade. And he was doing his traditional, wave to the crowd type of thing. And one of our buddies, I can't remember who it was, he gave Buzz Aldrin the horns. And then Buzz Aldrin turned his waving hand into the horns. And then he realized what he was doing, looked at his own hands, and realized he broke character, and then went back to doing the wave. So, right, dude, Buzz Aldrin gave us the horns. So you want to talk about holy crap, like claim to fame, like awesome moment. Like it was, and also I parked my car. I parked my car, somehow did not get ticketed, did not get towed, and did not get that thing that they put on the wheels. And I parked my car at the Supreme Court.
Wow.
What a miracle that was. I'm not a government card. Oh, yeah, Juggalo Deathcock. Yeah, he remembers. Yeah, that was a moment. So anytime now I rewatch this movie and I see Buzz Aldrin's name, I think of that moment. I was like,
hey, it is
me. That's Gerry.
You look so young and Asian.
His face right there. He's like, holy shit.
Well, and we got to talk about, before we get too deep in the film, I think, or in Gary's ass, one or the other. I think we need to talk about how this film was like one of the first viral films. Like, you got to understand, the internet was new and fresh.
That's a fair point.
This is the first time I remember going to the website a lot, id4.com. You can still go there now, but now it just sends you to Fox. But yeah, they had, the trailers and a bunch of campaigns and warnings and all kinds of shit on there. They had this television special just before the movie came out that was treated like the alien invasion was real. Like they actually did like shots and footage just for that and stuff and events and stuff for it. It was really neat. But you got to remember, this was also when they did a trailer for it for the Super Bowl, half a year before the movie even came out. So that was kind of the first of everybody's first look at what this thing was. Like nobody knew it was what it was. Independence Day, ID4. What the hell is that?
Right.
And you get this shot of the White House just exploding.
So exciting.
And it's like, enjoy the Super Bowl. It's like, I was so excited. And the funny thing is that shot was not in the movie.
Nope.
No. They did that shot specifically for the trailer, but it got such a reaction that they're like, we've got to work that in there somehow. Because the way the movie was originally being edited at that point it's just all the shots of them trying to get away from the explosion or whatever in Air Force One. You didn't actually see the White House blow up. So they actually added that shot in there with the helicopter in front of it blowing up and all that shit. And that was the other thing too, is I think they did the shot and they're like, well, we got to get that helicopter in there because otherwise it wouldn't work with the way it was edited in or something like that. So that helicopter was also added later after the fact.
So
I love the practical effects on all of that. Just saying. It's my my favorite.
And it's got some of the best digital effects.
Yeah, that too for being in the 90s.
That era.
Yeah.
Most of the
things in it that people thought were digital effects or CG, and it wasn't.
You
was
know, they
practical.
really did.
Yeah,
They
it was
really
so
did
good.
blow up Congress, which
Yes.
Well,
The
no,
White
they
House
blew
was
it over.
gone.
They just knocked it over, which
So
was
They
even
blew
better.
it.
Well, they set
They
up
blew it.
for when they set up the White House devastation. They set up 2 sets for it in case, obviously in case further go wrong. They even let press see the destruction of it, and they actually, they got it right the first time. And it's really interesting that a movie that was such a high caliber blockbuster, and especially we all know our guy we love, the Critical Draker, has his well documented series called Production Hell. This movie seems like it was near the opposite of it. Not only did they get the White House set done in one shot, one try, but this movie apparently was actually one of the quickest movies for them to film. Apparently, there was a lot of smooth sailing for them. They shot this within a few months. There was not much that they needed to reshoot after. They started like late July and finished early October. So that for a big blockbuster, that's considered a very short time. Like
Because
usually
they
you
ended
get
up
these-
doing.
Go ahead.
I was to say, because they ended up doing so much of it practically. That's why.
I do
Like they did
want
a lot
to
of
get these,
compositing with computer, but other than that, like there's not a lot in the film itself that's actual CGI.
And you can
So-
tell,
No.
but it's not. It doesn't disengage you.
Mm-hmm.
It's
I will tell you
fantastic.
this: they had an opportunity to cut some of the budget for effects because the U.S. military was going to help them, but
Uh-huh.
the only way they were going to help was if they pulled the Area 51 part.
That's
They said,
right,
You can
yep.
call it anything else you want. You just can't call it Area 51. We're like, but that's what everybody knows it is.
Yeah,
And
it's
that's one of the
literally
best scenes in the
51.
film.
It is.
Yes,
There is no Area 51. There is no
That's-
Mr.
secret.
President.
that's
That's
not
not
strictly
entirely
true.
So, like, which came
my
first?
discovery into discovering what Area 51 was. I never
You
heard of
knew.
it.
You had the
until
bodies.
this
The
movie.
thing
I-
back in the 50s with Roswell. Yeah.
Just to comment on the practical effects. If you've ever watched YouTube videos of building demolitions, of implosions, or the ones that went wrong, which are even funnier, by the way, those are hysterical. The buildings blowing up in this movie as practical effects are spectacular.
Agreed strongly. You look at the way those buildings blow up, and you believe that this stuff is absolutely happening. We've seen a lot of movies come out in the last 28 years, and especially in the last 5 or 6. You've seen the CG is starting to deteriorate and
Yes.
age a lot worse and a lot quicker. This movie outs a lot of them, and in some ways was ahead of its time, not just with the CG, but with how beautifully done this movie was. I was saying to Tom earlier tonight on Meet briefly, if you think about it, this movie, it was like the 90s version of Big Trouble in Little China. That it's a lot of things, and somehow it blends well together because it's a disaster movie, it's a sci-fi movie, it's an action movie, and also it's a Will Smith movie because Will Smith is pretty much a genre.
Technically, it is all those things, but really what it is, it sells itself, and it was a time when we hadn't had a disaster movie in a while, and it was the resurgence, not to be punny with the sequel.
Dante's Peak,
It was the
Volcano.
resurgence of the disaster film. It takes all of its pacing, how it's presented to us, the casting, all of that, the storytelling, all from the disaster films of the 70s, right? So if you've seen Airport, any of those 4 or 5 films, or Earthquake, or Dante's
Dante's
Inferno,
Peak.
or
Dante's Peak.
Dante's
No,
Inferno is a
no,
completely different thing.
Dante's Inferno's a poem, Tom.
no, the one that from the 80s, the one with the building, Towering Inferno. Towering Inferno.
Towering.
Oh,
Steve
Steve
Dante's
Outside
Inferno.
of
McQueen.
yeah,
Steve
it's like
McQueen in
the
it.
70s, they did these constantly, right? Like they were all these. All
they
it was
did.
was a cast full of people you knew, all set in these different kind of stories that would eventually intertwine in some way over some kind of disaster, right? And that's exactly what this was. And I went into the theater. This was the closest to my generation's Star Wars. It had to be, because I had never been to it. And I went through Jurassic Park and a few other movies in my lifetime, right? But I never got to live through the Star Wars films until the re-release.
Yeah.
So when I went to see this movie, this is the first time I ever went to a theater where it was literally like elbow to elbow and people were like fucking standing. I'm like, this has got to be against fire regulations. They were literally packing as many people into the theaters as they could. It was a fucking rock show. Like you guys got to understand when he goes, today is no longer a national holiday. It will be our independence. Everybody got up out of their fucking seats. Like the entire roof blew the fuck out. Like everybody's like, yeah. And you're like, at that point, like you felt it. It was like this emotional moment. Like, holy shit. And this movie played and played. I went to see it like 6 fucking times. Right? Like, I don't think there was a movie I'd seen more times than that in the theater than this fucking movie. Like, this movie that summer in 96 was just like, holy shit. And I don't think anybody really expected it at first, but there was this buildup. It's coming. It's ID4. It's coming. It's Independence Day. And they weren't even hiding what the movie was. We knew exactly what it was when we went into it, right? So it wasn't like The Matrix and shit a couple of years later where it was all about hiding what The Matrix was. No, this movie was flat out telling you what you were getting. You're going to get a bunch of explosions. It's going to be the disaster film of the century, folks. Come see it. You got the kid from Fresh Prince in it. You got the Fly in it. You got the guy from Taxi in it. You know these guys, come see it, right?
Yes, I was there, Tom.
And it's
You
an
got President
alien
Lone
invasion
Star.
film.
Alien Invasion. You got a Cousin Eddie. Come on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, Tom, well
Yeah,
stated, man.
Yeah, they
Everybody from their
telegraphed-
mother and grandmother was there to see this shit.
Yeah, they
Well, I got to tell you,
telegraphed that-
I saw it on a military post. It had mixture of Army and Air Force in there.
Oh, I'm
At
sure that was.
McClellan.
I want to hear what Redshirt had
And
to say first. So I'm
it
curious.
absolutely was just like you were describing. Everybody roared. But go ahead, Richard.
But no, it's just that Tom's right. They telegraphed this. They told you this is what we're going to do. This is what it's going to be. And everybody turned out, and Tom's right. They raised the roof off the freaking movie theater.
Oh, when
several
Randy
times.
Quaid blew that one up, holy shit! It was like it got louder than the last. Like,
Exactly. That's why I came in with that line. It's my favorite line in the whole film.
like
You
I
know,
never even
hello,
heard that you.
boys. I'm back.
All right, I'm
I
gonna bring
didn't
the
even
overlay
notice that.
down.
Let me tell you this. Even though I saw.
So just let the
You
clip
sure?
play, Tom. Oh, okay.
Oh,
Whoop.
You
where'd
lost
it
the
go?
clip.
No, you got to put the other slides back in. The clips are very short because of copyright.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Very
Yeah,
short. I tested
Oh.
dozens.
Well, I
until
didn't even
could
get it. It like was just like. Yeah. it
Okay, I was
like
gonna
a-
say I didn't even get
all
it. You
sm-
can do it again. I'll let you do it again.
Yeah, it doesn't matter.
70s.
It's okay. You guys
Okay.
carry on.
Well,
Tom, you were at.
I remember where I was at exactly, but like I seen it 6 times. Okay, I remember I seen it 6 times, but I didn't even notice until on video that you can kind of hear him scream at the end there when it blows up. Like that's how loud the theater was at that point. You couldn't even hear the explosion, right? Like everybody was
Yeah.
cheering so loud. It was just
Oh, it was
crazy after
nuts.
the up years.
Yep.
Oh yeah, and we get introduced to our president of the movie. And as far as presidents in movies, and no disrespect to Harrison Ford and Air Force One, whom I love, but if
Yeah.
there's one guy who played the president in any movie the best ever, it's Mr. Bill Pullman as Thomas J. Whitmore. He starts off as this guy who Pinochet's helicopter tours acknowledge as there's this media that is, skeptical of his presidency. And you're thinking, okay, is he some weak president? What's going on here? He's being questioned a lot. And he even mentions, hey, it's funny how they turn on you quickly. But he quickly, like the flip of a switch, realizes he needs to become a leader at a time where they're facing an unprecedented threat. This isn't your typical American threat, whether it's communism, socialism, tyranny, all that stuff. This is a whole other thing. And he obviously it helps that he also has actual military experience. So it makes his character even more badass because look at that, a president who is actually off to go fight a war. Imagine that concept.
Mm-hmm.
So he talked the talk and he walked the walk. What a freaking performance. And it's like he becomes like the most likable president. It's like I was telling my girlfriend earlier, and I was gonna make a meme about it. So of course I didn't get it made, but chat. There's a meme out there. One of you Legion memers, this is your chance to make the president we wish we got. You could take a photo of Mr. Pullman, and he could do like the wish.com and they could take Biden from last week's debate and make that the meme. So there you go. I just gave you your template. Make that meme happen.
Yes.
President we wish he got. President we actually got.
The president we needed.
Oh, yes, presidents. That was another thing. Almost everyone in this movie refers to him as Mr. President. That seems like a terminology that's almost like it almost seems like forgotten language nowadays. Like it really, it really is like it's like, oh yeah, people used to say that even if they didn't agree with them. People would call someone that was a thing once upon a time. It was so commonplace back then. Go ahead, Tom.
I'm taking it. This is the theatrical cut. By the way, it's jumping through this so quick because we're missing some bits here. So I've only watched the special edition in the last few years.
I have the extended edition, and that's where I took the stills from. But
because I didn't even see some of the bits that like were jumping. It seems like are already into this part.
It's probably just moving quick, but go ahead and mention the bits, Tom.
They're only I can't make. Okay.
I'm
sorry if the slides are not good enough. My apologies.
No. I'm not saying that. It's just like we're jumping through the movie here already. It's like, yeah, here we are.
No,
like,
it's good that he's got it going because with the way the show gets hit with the claim 70s, you're good. Trust me. So
Hirsch credit in the early part of the movie for one of the funniest performances I've ever seen him do, dealing with his son. The incredible tech nerd. You became a video. You became what was it? A home video repairman.
You went to MIT.
Yeah, video repairman. And he's like,
4 years at MIT,
the signal is this
cable repairman.
Thank you, cable repairman. And he's like, and then when he figures out what the signal's doing and he can cancel it out, he's like, oh, all cable repairmen can do that.
He's like, I'm going to use this satellite to pinpoint her location in the warehouse. You can do that?
Oh, yeah.
All cable repairmen can, Pops.
Oh, yes. Oh, that is such a wonderful back and forth between the two of them before the movie really gets going. And I just love that because that and Randy Quaid spraying the wrong field, that was hysterical. So, you got a bunch of misfits and goofballs and a guy who's this incredible nerd and his father who's a nudge, running around and everybody's about ready to have, lose their heads. And then it turns out it's worse.
so much worse. Okay, I'm going to acknowledge these super chats really quick, and then we will carry on and talk more about this movie. Pioche's helicopter tours for $2 says, you see Quaid offered to take out China balloon. Oh, hold on, are you talking in real life, or is this part talking for the movie? Because
I believe Randy Quaid probably offered to do that in real life.
Because I was gonna say because if you're talking a movie, I don't recall a scene that's akin to that, but would I put it past him in real life? Maybe. I don't know what he's like, much like in real life, but does it seem like he might be World Trade Center? It's always so weird nowadays when I see World Trade Center movies. And then Nick the Greek, 199 says, Tom, do the final speech, but as Trump. I don't know if that could work. He's too New Yorkish.
Yeah.
Like whereas Bill Pullman had more of like a middle of America type of president. Like he feels like someone who could have
I felt like he was kind of the guy from like maybe the nicer parts of Pennsylvania.
Yeah, I could see maybe Pennsylvania, maybe Wisconsin, Missouri. He feels like one of those presidents. Like he really feels like the embodiment of middle America president. And I know actually Pullman in real life, I think he co-owns a ranch with his brother in Montana. So that is falling right in line with his real life likeness per se. So yeah, I'm absolutely with it. And I remember seeing the gargantuan ships, and man, I don't think these ships are straight up freaking huge.
Dude, yeah, and the way it destroys that one helicopter just because those guys as they're coming into it, whatever, with just the fire of it cooling down from entering the atmosphere. It's like
Yes.
like that gives you an additional scale of like how big it is, because that's just fire from it cooling down.
Yeah.
And it's all like, hey,
And-
that's an AC-130. Guess what? Fuck you.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Richard.
And these are released from the mothership, which is a quarter of the mass of the moon.
Right.
So, I mean, the ship, the mothership that's out there makes these things look like TIE fighters.
That is a huge bitch.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dude,
yeah.
seriously, that thing looks like it could strap level into the Death Star and hurt the Death Star. Like, I was just like, oh, wow. I guess the
That'd be
Empire
a
actually have a
cool-
real threat. It's a bunch of aliens.
That'd be a cool mix-up. That'd be awesome.
Good. Oh, yeah.
Ah, a crossover that would actually work. Imagine that. Not that we need it nowadays, but
alien
man.
mothership.
But look at the shot 28
Fight.
years ago, and this looks like you can believe in New York City.
Dude,
Scarily. I don't want this to happen in real life, by the way. Please don't ever happen. Aliens, if you hear us, please just think, look, if you have to look down on us and think these people are weird or we're too crazy, you're allowed to think that if that means you turn around.
Well, and if you look at this on a technical spec level, like you can tell that these shots were like green screening in the model spaceship or whatever, but you can't see the seams like you would with a George Lucas production, and you can't really tell that it's not even technically in the same scene together like you can with certain other movies from the time period.
Well, it's because they're using computers to composite, and that's
Which
about
was
it. Like I said,
great, yeah.
There's only like
or
a couple of shots throughout the entire film that use CGI, and I could probably point them out if we get.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you were Ray Harryhausen, you'd have built a scale model of New York City skyline and put it against a matte painting with a spaceship in it.
There's
Either
a lot
way,
of map paintings in this, actually.
So,
but
Tom,
either way,
Go ahead,
there
Richard.
wouldn't be a
Finish it.
seam. So that's the thing is the practical guys were actually going, well, we can't just fake it in a computer. So how the hell are we going to do this? And this goes all the way back to Ray Harryhausen and Dan, and fighting skeletons, which are silly because they're stop motion, but they're still more believable than some of the CGI I've seen in the last 10 years.
I'd make the argument that it's still believable than most of it, even for the stuff that I've liked even.
Yeah. No, I agree. I'm
And
just saying
Tom-
there's more than one way to skin this cat, and these guys did a very, very good job of putting the images together and giving you the sense of holy crap, that's a big spaceship. So yeah, more power to them.
You were saying, Tom?
It's this old.
Well,
Go
it's
ahead.
funny because
Sorry, Tom.
this movie. No, it's cool. We talk about it being kind of like a disaster movie. It was basically a disaster movie meets V, and I don't know how many people on the panel remember the show V, because that was a thing before that. That's what a lot of us thought was like, wait a minute, this is just like V, where you basically had a bunch of huge spaceships hovering over the biggest metropolitan areas in the world, right? Like that was all they really copied outside of they clearly want to take over our planet, but they just kind of were more direct about this at Independence Day. But yeah.
Right.
Yes, sir. Oh, hey, here's this guy. I gotta call my mom.
Harvey Firestein. Yeah.
I can't believe they made him.
just send my mom to Atlanta?
Yeah, I don't know why they had him. They could have got away with a fuck in PG-13, but I don't know if you notice it here. They have him
Yes.
ADR.
Because
Oh,
of Forget My Lawyer, they ad-lib.
Yeah.
Yeah, because of his language.
Like, I gotta call my mother. I gotta call my sister. I gotta call my lawyer. Well, fuck my lawyer. That's what he originally said.
It was nice of Jeff Goldblum to keep his wardrobe from Jurassic Park, though.
Right?
Yes.
And some of this dialogue.
Character. It's the same character.
Yeah,
Now-
he even
No,
has the
I
same
actually
dialogue.
disagree. 70s. I here's why. He feels a lot more less Goldbloomy in this movie, whereas in Jurassic
He's
Park,
more nerdy in this.
Oh,
Yeah,
come
Jurassic
on,
Park, he's
Nick.
got
Yeah.
the cool leather
In that
jacket. and
scene
shit,
where
yeah.
they're chased by the aliens, he yells, "Must go
Must
faster!
go
Must
faster."
go faster!"
that was the
Yes.
Jurassic Park line.
That is
But that's
true.
still
That is
so
true.
Well, yeah, it
annoying.
was reprised
Okay,
in
yes,
Jurassic
I know that
Park.
line was
Did it on
reprised.
purpose.
Okay,
No, you did
yes,
Jurassic Park
was
before
done
this.
on purpose.
Yeah.
But as a character,
By the way,
anyone
Before
would
we get
say
past-
that when they're in that situation, not just Jeff Goldblum. Go
Right.
on.
Before we get past this, though, yeah, I can think of a couple of people. One of them was a science fiction writer named Spider Robinson,
Okay.
who, if he'd been involved in any way in this, would have made the aliens look like either locusts or cockroaches. Because these things are scavengers. They go around the universe, they clean a planet of all of its resources, then they move on. What better than an army of cockroaches or an army of locusts?
See, but
And
for me,
they
that would
missed
have.
that.
Well, see, and for me, that would have totally killed my engagement with it because those are like, Earth-like creatures. These things were unlike anything we had seen. They were like with the tentacles and the craziness and the whatnots. It was
what
great.
I like is they were able to mix like two or three different kind of alien types that we've seen before in this. What you got was the exoskeleton gave you the tentacles and stuff, which is kind of the, Cthulhu kind of thing. And then you got the arms and the legs, which is kind of and the head kind of reminding you of the aliens. And then once they open up inside the exoskeleton, you've got like the typical gray looking type aliens that we always hear about.
Oh, no. What was inside was, we are Siamese, if you please.
Well, I mean, the face was that typical, shaped, triangle face with the big black eyes and all that.
Yes. And by the way, people, just general rule, don't trust a gray. They're all bastards.
I do like how his girlfriend is complaining that he's going back to work when there's massive alien spaceships encircling the Earth.
70s.
Right.
I remember even being 9 when I was 9. I'm thinking, why is she saying that?
She's complaining about it.
Like,
looked outside.
she literally saw with her own 2 eyes, and she had the same expression when he looked outside. Like, how you talk about going on vacation when you just saw the same thing that he just saw. Like, when he went to go out and check the paper and he got that look at the giant ship and she was all trying to get his attention. And then she was like, oh, I see why you weren't responding. Oh, yeah, that's a big deal. But then a mere 5 minutes later, like,
she's like, you're on break. Why are you going anywhere?
Harry Connick Jr. was right. He should have dumped her.
Now that I'm glad you brought up that shot, because that shot actually has like a piece of everything in its special effects shot. That shot where it's over LA. With the helicopter going towards it, that helicopter CGI.
Yeah.
The ship is a model, and it's like, basically composited over a shot of LA or whatever. So like you have basically, so it's basically the same as a matte painting. So you have all those elements working in one shot. Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah. Yeah, and what would blow, what would blow somebody's mind if they didn't look this up on IMDb and they just saw this movie. And then you told them, oh, by the way, this was made. It's released in 1996, 28 years ago. They'd be like, you're shitting me.
Yeah.
Because it doesn't look like that.
Does not, does it?
It does not.
Here's the thing. The way the movie looks on a visual scale does not. Now, the elements, like maybe some of the cultural clothing styles and the fact that there's an increase of American flags in L.A. of all places, I'd say that would probably be the only elements that could, I guess you could say, date it. But other than that, the movie looks very timeless.
Well, that and the cars. And cars always date movies.
Good point on
cars.
The cars
always date
very
movies.
Good point on the cars.
Yes.
Cars
I mean, that's I don't even need to look at IMDb. I watch a movie for 5 minutes and I go, oh, look at the cars. Okay, I know where we are. Late 70s.
Yeah. No, that's a damn good point, dude. Really damn good point.
And that is really hard for movies, is that if you're going to make a movie and you're going to have a city and there's going to be cars and you have checker cabs, I know when you're making this movie.
You think they don't know? They know what you know.
They know what I know. They know that.
Yeah, when
if
I
there
on
was
HBO,
something
they'll
in my
call you.
right hand that would make you forget what's in my left hand. Never mind.
Oh, so Gilbert Gottfried was in this movie too?
No.
This
I'm just trying to distract you.
This is great.
This picture is great.
As his friends are talking about being sexually abused.
Oh, dude. Did you get a clip of that? 70s?
Not that bit, no.
Oh.
This guy's obsessed with it. So you know.
Oh, yeah, he was abused.
Sexually.
Sexually.
And these kids are watching.
And he's the same guy who
TV.
asked him earlier in the thing if he got abused sexually. Yeah, so he's
Yeah,
like
it's
obsessed
like-
with it.
He is.
He really likes the idea of that guy taking it in the butt. So
I'm gonna text Mark later.
You can hear the
I'm gonna
banjos.
text Mark. I'm like, Mark, could you take that clip and then put the in the ass clip and put them together as one?
We need to get Gerry and this guy together.
Oh, hey, I mean Valentine's Day is far away, but it's better to start early, Gerry.
All right,
Well-
man. I'll start lubing it up and flexing my muscles.
It's never too early or late to go out for a dinner and a movie, dude.
Just do them in that order, I guess.
lube up, stretch out, dinner movie. Got it.
I don't know who's gonna lose it first tonight, Nick Weiser or me.
Well, you're about to lose it even more because I saw somebody ask for Trump earlier doing the speech, but I can't do a Trump voice real well. What I can do
said
is
he's too
Biden.
New Yorkish, like, and I feel like
He's
honestly,
Queens.
or-
He's Queens, which is worse.
These aliens are huge.
And here's the thing: it's not like I'm not even sure because whether there are people who do or don't like Trump, it's more of a his voice doesn't fit it. It really doesn't. I'm not saying as a disrespect towards him, but it's not.
Let me do a.
Shable,
just a
I
bit of
agree
it.
on
We can
Razor.
try
Razor
it.
does a great Trump. Razor does.
We will
really
not go quietly into the night.
good.
We will
It
not
just doesn't sound
vanquish without a fight. We're gonna live on. We're gonna do the best we can. We're gonna do the best, biggest.
We will
the
celebrate
best,
our
huge.
hugest.
We're gonna
Independence
survive.
Day.
We're gonna
That's all
survive
right.
more than anybody's ever survived before.
But that's all right.
Warp speed.
Anyway,
Warp speed.
Ever.
Big league.
Good morning. In less than an hour,
Make it so. Make it so.
aircraft from here will join
You're
others
just
from
bastardizing this speech.
Do not
Around the
shoot the
globe.
ship. Don't be like Joe who shoots aimlessly.
world.
He's got bad aim.
I
I
should
play
say
Bear
that 'cause the
Golf.
flat
I
earth
play
fills-
Bear Golf and him, by the way, too. He throw that in the speech too.
I like this. Sorry.
Yes.
Police advisory: don't shoot at the aliens. With
Yeah.
guns.
You may inadvertently start an intergalactic war.
I love that.
Today we celebrate my Independence Day from my
From my
It-
diaper.
from your depends.
brain.
My independs day.
We have Harry. Remember
Mine
when Harry
depends.
Connick
I'm in
Jr. was a
depends.
thing?
Depends day. Yes.
oh, I love this bit here with the.
Oh, dude, the one
Let's
you
put
can
there,
up to
right
the
there.
booty
This is
kissing.
how you set up
The
a
booty
perfectly
kissing.
joke, right? Like it's
Yeah.
a complete bit, and it's set up so well.
It starts with him saying
One
because it puts the
leg,
booty like
right in front of
the lip.
Man,
It's great.
don't
It's timed
marry a
perfectly.
stripper.
No,
Oh,
it's
look
right
at
there.
Or I
Right
put
there.
a
Timed
pause.
perfectly, not just because of the way they're positioned, but he also says, just as the guy walks up, "This is a wedding ring."
Hey, it's the Air Force. What do you expect?
He's like, you know what would have been better? The only thing that
Marines.
They're
Hey,
Marines. They're
ask-
Marines.
should have said, that guy in the back there should have said, "Hey, don't ask, don't tell," and just walked away.
Dude, that's what I say every time that scene comes on. Every time.
Just
Don't ask,
remember
don't
their,
tell.
their slogan, the Marines looking for a few good men.
Oh,
Looking into a few good men.
all right. I'm gonna
A
do
few
it for
good men
Jake.
to get into the same hole
We have
together.
missiles, the best missiles, simply tremendous. People tell me the best missiles ever. Right at the spaceship, they're gonna run away. Those aliens, they won't even see it coming. Even though
That's
I'm
all
getting
right.
dumped.
Thank you, Captain James.
I'm gonna put a law in play, make them all illegal aliens.
And Mad makes an appearance.
Hey.
All
Hey.
70s.
Then we're gonna put up a wall around the world.
Hey.
Mad had to appear at some point.
Had
Of
to.
course.
Why'd you have to put it over the best parts of this
This is
whole
one of the
movie?
shittiest strip clubs I've ever seen
It
in my
is.
life.
Dude, and she's one of the
Yeah,
worst
it is.
Never
strippers
Any
ever.
goddamn clothes off. Like,
And she's really bad at it. She's really
There's
bad
no
at doing
actual
this.
stripping going on.
What a paradigm. She's dating a guy in the military. I mean,
I hope
I hope they bring
Well,
back
Elvis. I think it was foreshadowing. It's a Will Smith film. The women don't take their clothes off.
nah.
What I never understood watching this
It was
movie
a
in this
duo.
scene is Will Smith says, "Go to Del Toro and I'll meet you there."
She goes to work.
She goes down to pick up her last check and gets talked into working on her day off. Like, Why?
She's a stripper. She's
leave.
not smart. She's a stripper. She's not smart. Okay, you cannot give her intelligence points.
I
You
know,
put
but
them
you know why
all
this
in
is?
marrying
body
strippers.
This is one of the only parts of the movie where I'm like, this is only here just because you have to stall her long enough so she doesn't get to the fort before it gets destroyed. That's it.
Yeah.
But yet she's still in LA when it gets
Takes her
blown
kid
up.
and dog to the strip club as well. I love
That's
that.
the other thing too, is taking her kid to the strip
The
club. I'm
strip
like,
club.
Jesus Christ.
Happiest kid in the world.
He knows so much he should know already.
He became a young man early on in his life.
He can find
the dog seemed to be having a good time too.
Just saying. Boomer.
Boomer, that's his name.
Is one of the best parts of this movie. Just because Boomer.
You know,
is
well, the
his
thing
name.
that's most, you know, well, there's a lot of science. You're right. There's a lot of science fiction in this movie, Nick. But the most science fiction thing of all is the things that you can do with a MacBook. Let's be real.
Yes.
Oh yeah, for real, especially in
Miracle Machine.
And not only that, they had a friggin' commercial for this MacBook that in tandem with this movie, where the tagline to sell the MacBook was, "You can save the world."
Yeah.
Oh no!
Yes. When there's only 28 minutes on the line, you want to be able to. Shit, you not.
This dude. Oh my
Andy
God.
can triangulate her position.
They had Nicolas Cage advertising for "You could save the world."
That's the only thing this movie's missing is Nick Cage is like a fireman.
Oh, dude, Nicolas Cage.
We gotta save the people.
Right, that would be just the perfect
They're
little.
trapped in that building. I know it.
Dude, I think it would have been great if he was the pilot of the welcome wagon.
Oh,
yeah. We need two schmucks. I mean, volunteers to go up in this welcome wagon.
I'll go.
It'll be totally grand.
The idiot's going to. I mean, the sheriff's going to do it.
The ground crew are putting bets on whether they'll survive or not.
This has got to be one of Judd Hirsch's best performances, though.
God, yeah.
Oh my God,
Oh,
their
yeah.
relationship made the movie for me.
Yeah.
Oh,
It was perfect casting to put those two father and son.
Yep.
Yes, it was.
Little pens that they give out.
I can breathe again.
Well, he's kind of the heart of the movie.
You guys
if you
buy
think
the model
about it.
kits?
Right.
You're right,
No,
Tom. He
no.
really is, because he has
I got both
and
of
this
them.
is something this movie doesn't get enough acknowledgement for. Even with all the blockbuster spectacle, the aliens and the great sets and all that, there's not enough acknowledgement for a lot of the character growth in this movie.
You punch the
there's
president.
they have
bonding
great-
No, think about it. We got a
Character
president. Once again, bring it back to what I said earlier. You had the president who their skepticism of became a full-on leader, fully respected. You also had Jeff Goldblum, who had his faith arc as well. You also had Will Smith's arc. He was in this Will I, Won't I with Vivisha. You had a lot of these arcs there that actually had proper character development. So there was quite a bit of also how am I forgetting his name? Up yours.
Randy
Quaid.
Thank you.
Russell Case.
Yeah, Russell Case. He had a character arc as well too. I mean, the guy who got violated sexually by aliens now he was the pie. Now he's going to give them
It's
the
not so
pie.
much an arc as it's a whole circle. Really, it comes complete full circle.
But when you're doing recon on a planet, you have to ask probing questions. So
Boom, probing again. There we go. Hey, I wanted to point out two cool things. One, that this White House scene that was shot on the set for The West Wing.
Okay.
Actually, it's a set they
enjoyed
use
that
for
show.
a lot of. Actually, it's. I believe.
Yeah.
The West Wing used it later. This is a set they built for either this movie or a movie before.
I just
it.
remember there was a
And it's
connection
been
to the
used.
show.
Well, it's actually been used more times than any other set for the White House because of how
Got
accurate
used a
it
lot in the
was.
last 4 years.
It has been used in a ton of movies. I think even Air Force One and a bunch of other movies ended up using it too. Or pretty much any movie or show you've seen that took place in the White House between this and the West Wing, they used it probably.
Also,
That's
I
what
want to point out we have the only true Baldwin in this movie.
Yes, Adam, the best.
Yeah,
Really?
He's
I didn't
never
even know he was
actually
in it.
murdered anyone.
Adam
It's
Baldwin was in this.
When did I miss that? Yeah.
Where's Adam Baldwin in
okay.
this?
I didn't know
isn't it
Jada-
the-
until Roswell.
He's at he's at
He's
Roswell.
a major
Yeah.
working.
Oh, is
Oh
he?
yeah, the guy that
Yeah,
tries
he
to get
doesn't look like a
everybody
bald one.
inside. Yeah.
He's not
He was
related.
also
to
he
the
was in Chuck.
Yes, Chuck.
Hmm.
He was in Chuck. He's great.
I
So
love
this is
Chuck.
Nick Cage's big scene
The
here.
last
As you guys
chip.
were
He
saying
was
earlier?
great in the last chip.
Wasn't he the M60 machine gunner Animal in the Kubrick film?
Yes, he was. He
Never
was.
really know what
We're trying to communicate with the aliens.
Was it the Kubrick? Was it Platoon? Wasn't it Platoon?
Haven't you ever
The
seen
lights are
Close
flashing.
Encounters? You
Wasn't
use
it Platoon?
lights.
Full Metal Jacket.
Full Metal Jacket.
Full Metal
sorry.
Jacket. Thank you, Gary.
But yeah, the last chip was a good show he was into.
Oh, that was good.
Somebody got a keyboard.
Standing. Oops. I wonder if this light could be trouble.
Look at the pretty lights.
I like
He would be up-
Checkmate.
That's another scene. That would have been a good cameo for him to be up there with all those people on the roof before the roof got nuked. Like that would have been perfect.
Nick,
Pretty
can you,
lights.
Nick, can you take the ID4 logo off? I just want to look at this
Yeah,
shot.
yeah, yeah. Let
Just
me.
to see this still captured right in the moment of the.
This movie has a lot of those bits.
Oh
Is
yeah,
it-
it's great.
Isn't that pilot right there? Wasn't he what's his
Burnt? Wasn't he burnt? to-
No, well, that too, but
He looked
from
familiar.
Brooklyn
Yeah.
Nine-Nine or whatever.
Yeah. I think it's that guy. I think you're
Captain
right.
Holt or whatever his name
I
was.
think you are correct. Yeah.
Yeah. I just
Oh
me and my
yeah,
wife watched this the other night.
I know who you
together.
mean. Yeah,
I watched that and I'm all like, wow, he has an expression on his face. Like, damn.
Well, this stuff here has got to be CGI enhanced because there's this, and then there's the shot where there's a couple of shots where you see like the guys just all burn up and shit.
yeah.
That was some pretty amazing stuff for the time.
Wow. I tell you.
We are evacuating. I repeat, we are
Oh,
evacuating the White House. You
We're
should have done that a
evacuating our
while ago.
bowels. We're
Jeff
evacuating our
Goldblum has
bowels.
a way of getting into place. By the way, did you guys know that he has a really nice, convenient way of getting to the side
Hmm.
because he's Jeff Goldblum? But yeah, he was not his weirder self outside of his dress at Parkline, which is once again a line that can be translated. To
Well, he's
anyone.
exposition guy here, basically. So
Yeah, he's.
he's explaining to the audience what's going on through most of the movie.
Thank you,
And-
Tom.
And what I like about the special edition is you get a lot more of not just the
Please
stuff
take
with
me away.
Randy Quaid, but you get more with Jeff Goldblum. And I love the stuff with him and is it Harvey Firestein? I thought it was Harvey Firestein. You said David earlier though.
It's Harvey, I think.
That's what I thought. Yeah, with him and
Harvey
you get a little bit more with those two. Yeah, and I love that stuff because you get to just see how much more smarter he is. You get a little bit more of his, attitudes towards everything, and it's just fun to see get a little bit more bits. But I love that he figures out that it's a countdown and the signal, and I know it's all movie stuff, like I said, but it's just little things like that that work for the movie so well and help you get into it as an audience member. I mean, especially if you went into this cold, not knowing anything, I can't imagine how you would react to this movie.
Well,
All right,
For
so hold on.
me,
Before we get past this, I just want to
All
say
right.
this real quick. Back in the day when I first saw these people partying on the roof with the aliens, and they're like, yeah, and stuff like that, I thought they were fucking nuts and it would never happen. And now we live in modern day, and I'm like, that's totally what would happen.
Yes,
Holy shit.
that is exactly what would happen, and there'd be a story the next day about
Same
them.
thing about the not shooting at the we would
Oh
totally-
yeah, and it would happen in Florida. It would say Florida man tries to shoot at alien ship. That's what it would come from.
Florida man starts
Yes.
intergalactic war with a
Right.
9mm pistol.
Yes,
You're not
To a
wrong.
6-year-old.
Florida man fires crocodile at.
Yeah.
Like,
For God's sake,
Oh,
Stop.
70s those perfect.
stop firing fireworks at them.
yes. I was every time I saw Jeff Goldblum, because
Auto
Jeff
rockets.
Goldblum in this is doing, he's exposition man. He's telling you what the audience doesn't know. Compare him to his role in The Right Stuff, where he runs down the hall and he goes into the office, the room, the meeting, and he goes, "It's called Sputnik." And they go, "We know."
Yeah.
At least this time you got to tell them what they didn't know.
Oh, RJ Godzilla 81 absolutely nailed it. His most grounded role since that movie. We'll just call it that movie.
Oh, yeah, that movie.
Yeah.
I mean, this character reminds me of a less serious version of the character he kind of plays in The Fly. That's probably what I would compare him to the closest
That's
to.
a good argument for The Fly, Tom. That's a good argument. Okay.
I mean, because he's really similar to what he's like in the beginning of The Fly.
Uh-huh.
But as he gets going with The Fly, you know, as he starts turning into The Fly, not so much. But like,
Uh-huh.
yeah, that earlier just kind of like, you know, because that's what I love about his character earlier in the movies. He's completely oblivious to everything that's going on because he's just doing his job, right?
Yes.
And I love that the idea that they set up this relationship that has, you know, been soured by this idea that his wife went to work with the president. And, you know, we don't know the whole story, but we kind of get the story that these guys probably went to college together. That's how they all, you know, hung up in the same groups. They went up this one you know, he went up the ladder after going to Desert Storm, you know, through probably being a senator or something like that, and then so on and so forth. And while Jeff Goldblum instead went the other direction, because that's her whole thing, is he doesn't have any ambition, right? Because he's happy just sitting and working at some cable company, but she knows he's capable of doing so much more, right? Like that's his whole point, is the smartest guy in the world is working for Warner Cable. Like that's the joke.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, it's even funnier if he's working for Comcast,
or Comcast or whoever. You know what I mean, right?
I
Like,
know.
It's just some no-name fucking company in the show, too.
I only say that, Tom, because I had Comcast, so screw them.
Spectrum, whoever, whoever you hate, insert here.
And now we get some of the most magnificent destruction
Oh,
scenes
yeah.
ever.
All she takes
Well, you can tell why he punched the president. Sorry, Brian. I was just saying, you can tell why he punched the president is because he thinks him and the president and his wife were having an affair.
Exactly.
That's why she says that.
That's right. Yeah. He thought they were, but as Tom said, it's a disaster movie at this point.
Yep.
The ultimate disaster movie.
It is. It took all those tropes, and it's like, what if we do a disaster movie but with aliens?
With everything thrown in.
Right.
Aliens.
There we go.
Sci-fi.
Oh crap.
One of the best one of the best reactions, in my opinion, in the movie. Was it
crap.
S or C? I don't know.
It was crap.
But it was perfect because he's like, oh.
No getting out of this one. Yeah.
Why did I send my mother to Atlanta?
Yes. I gotta call my lawyer.
Oh God.
Screw my lawyer.
If I had,
And this is how, if any, like, I love Harvey Fierstein. So anybody who says, "Well, you don't like gay people," fuck you. I love, like, Harvey. He's great. He was hilarious in this bit. Nobody gave a shit, especially like Mrs. Doubtfire. He's perfect.
Yes.
So I do have some very brief clips, Nick, of some of this destruction.
Dude,
Please.
So
slide it
just
in.
a few seconds long, just a few seconds of
America.
each one. I've got three of those. Let's play that one more time. Let's savor the moment.
Thank you.
That's one of them.
Yeah. Tell me when you have the other one ready, and we'll do it. But dude, that was brilliantly put. That was like
I
what,
really
3 seconds?
like to watch LA get blown up over and over.
Yeah. Oh, wait a minute. I think that might. I don't know if this is the same one. Sorry, I might.
It doesn't look like it. No, it's not.
That's LA.
I love the fact it goes down the building bit by bit. It's great.
Yes.
And there's
Blowing
one more.
floors out as it goes.
Nowadays,
this
in the
one.
day and age of none of these people would know where to go because they would all try to use their phones and figure out how to go, and their phones would all have bad signal, so they'd be screwed. They're like, I don't know how to leave my house because they rely on their phones to get around. It would not be
Basically,
good.
everybody's phone would be going off saying evacuate.
There's one more
Right.
clip, Nick.
All right, we're gonna plug
Last
it.
one of those three.
That one was New York, right?
That's New York.
That one that was definitely
Yes.
New York.
I got one of each.
Oh, that's true too, Souls. I said the ones who would probably be not as scared, they would be you filled with the smartphones where the idiots would be panicking about how they're going to get around because once again they don't know how to get around without the reliance of their phones. Oh yeah. Oh man, the things that could be solved and not solved because of smartphones with movies nowadays. Man, it really is crazy. I think how much smartphones change the games for better and worse.
Well, this
Where
movie was
are
really
you?
smart with how they
I'm
did
at the wrong
this.
location. Well, get here.
Yeah.
This is
Well,
a
this-
great show.
Go on,
Yeah,
Tom.
it did. Well, and the beauty of this was the way they set this up, because yes, as like Red Shirt and I were all talking about the way they led you into this movie without really hiding anything about what it was about. They made you spend 45 or so plus minutes with the cast before they blew some shit up.
Oh,
So when shit starts blowing up in the actual movie, like after this moment when she says boomer and everything goes flash and black for a second, and then you fade in and you see the Statue of Liberty laying like that was a moment in the theater where everything was quiet. Like everybody's like, oh, that's where everything kind of dawned on everybody's like, can you imagine if we dealt with something like that? Just that shot of the Statue of Liberty like that laying down in the water. It was just, it stuck with, I think everybody, obviously, probably, but me, especially as a kid or teenager, whatever you want to call it. Like, that's one of those moments you see something like that. And it's like, you start thinking about maybe I should join the military, you know, you know what I mean? It just, it's like, it makes you want to be patriotic. It's like, how dare they?
Well,
How
the images,
dare they?
the images are so realistically horrific. You feel like you could be seeing this actually happen. These are at the time. This is at a time where I guess you could say there was not as much skepticism and known corruption. Keywords on known corruption in the states and governments, and so people were definitely feeling a lot more patriotic because of that. They would feel awful to see these monuments being ripped apart and torn down the way they did. Like, how dare these bastards do it? They'd feel a sense of uneasiness, and the fact that it's so realistically done, it feels like you're kind of living through the characters, witnessing this horror.
Well, we did go through something like that 5 years later.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, this movie resonates differently now.
I was in the military, and I'm
differently
telling you,
now.
dude, this movie made all of us very patriotic in the military.
Yeah.
Oh, I
Made
bet.
you all
telling you,
like,
we raised the roof in that theater.
those alien scum are gonna pay for busting up my ride. They kick their ass.
Did you want to join the Stargate program?
I want to join the
I did
Stargate program.
until I saw the uniforms.
Well, in the 80s, you had Top Gun. In the 90s, you had Independence Day for, I guess you could say, military recruitment. You could decide on intentionally or unintentionally. I'm not going to decide.
The funny thing about these scenes is that this is what LA looks like today.
Right?
I know, right?
Prophetic.
Third world
Again,
country.
prophetic filmmaking.
Nowadays, this is just a Monday afternoon. It's just a
Actually,
It's just the Monday after.
I would actually point out that there's probably not enough fecal matter in the streets.
That's true.
Well, no, that's San Francisco. Get your city
That's
straight.
no, LA's just doesn't report.
On.
Yeah, what they would do is that the aliens would just bypass LA. They'd be like, "Oh, somebody else must have got this city already."
Right.
What you're trying to
Right.
tell me,
They fly around to a bunch of different ones.
LA is full of shit too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's a bunch of full of shit posers. You know.
I like when Colonel Watts is like, something you want to add to his briefing, Captain Hiller, and Will Smith's like, no sir, just a little anxious to get their whoop ET's ass. That's all.
You know what's funny is that's the first time I remember them using a swear word in a trailer as well.
Oh,
because
did
they actually let
they?
him say ass in the trailer. Yeah.
Nice.
So this is when we start to see Will Smith becoming more Will Smithy.
Oh yeah, he definitely gets.
Oh, this is the moment he owned 4th of July. Like we were pointing out during the Bad Boys, is that Bad Boys came out on 4th of July and it did well. But it was like the next year after it was this, and then the year after this was MIB. So like for 3 years in a row, he had 4th of July just kind of tied right up. And then of course then he tried Wild Wild West, but yeah.
Yeah.
Black.
Was it Men in Black 4th of July, or was that Memorial Day in
Nope,
97?
Men in Black was also, that's what I said. That was the third one in a row, basically. So yeah.
I remember seeing, and I'm trying to think. Okay, yeah, Wild Wild West was 99 because I remember it was one of those times where the song was remembered more fondly than the movie was.
Wow.
I remember looking
We
forward to
are
that
here
movie
on
as a
this
kid.
particular
I was
mission.
bummed
We
when I
never
didn't
know.
like it.
I do like Harry Connick Jr.'s speech here too. His
with
He's really good in this movie, dude.
The Black Knights.
All
will
of us got
emerge
pissed when he
victorious.
died.
Oh, dude, I was mad as a kid when he died because I Yeah, I was like, really? He had to die? Well, the cool guys, not the guy who talks.
Who's
like
going to
this.
play piano at the get-togethers, Marine get-togethers?
Right.
See, my thing is like I didn't
Goose.
really care about this guy in any way, shape, or form. I know they tried to pull a goose on him and make him really lovable really fast, but like he's completely forgotten by the end of the movie.
He cared
Like,
about you.
never
Corey.
mentioned again.
He gave his life for you.
Yeah,
Well, his wife, President's wife, wasn't mentioned again, and this is at a time where everything's absolute annihilation. You can't really grieve too much on moments like that when the rest of the world's.
I'm just saying that the simple fact that he's never even mentioned again in the rest of the movie,
I know,
it's like forget about him and therefore not care about him even on rewatches. I was like, oh yeah, that guy's there.
Yeah, it's sort of like when Profile gets killed in not Heartbreak Ridge. He's forgotten as a character. You know, it's like everybody goes laughing and cheering, and it's the end of the movie, and it's like, hold on, you brought a dead guy back with you. Nobody's going to point that out.
So they intend to defeat the aliens by playing Galaxians.
Yes, this is
or some
like
similar game.
Night 7, Fox 3.
Actually, all the calls that they do in this film are accurate.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, no, Fox 3 was a Hellfire, and the Fox 2 is a Sidewinder, right?
I was really impressed that they got those right. I was like, oh, listen to that shit. And this is where they thought it was CG, and it's not.
Also, what? It's just
No,
really
all
good
these
miniatures.
are,
Is this good miniature?
Yeah, all this
work?
is miniatures. I think some of the smaller ships and the wider shots it might be CG, but other than that, yeah, it's all model
Both of them
shots.
are model kits.
Wait a minute. Wouldn't you send the greatest pilot in America to do this job, Maverick? Why is he not involved in this mission?
They took his breath away.
That's
Oh,
I like that one. I like that one.
Oh,
And then he went to
was
the danger
good.
zone, sadly.
That's
so.
right.
That's what you get for going to the danger
No,
zone.
these are some amazing shots in this.
It is great.
video.
Yeah.
They
I'll
are
take that.
incredible. And I want to point out again that just like Highlander, there's only one film. The sequel just
Oh yeah,
Yeah, we haven't really been avoiding the sequel talk, I guess.
yeah.
Talk a little
We're
bit
not
about it,
talking
but-
about that movie that I never saw.
Okay.
Thank God they never made one.
Oh yeah, what are you talking about? It's
Yeah,
fake
I don't know what you're
news.
talking about.
There's no sequel.
But one thing they were able to do with this movie that so very well that CG doesn't do quite as well still, and even some other films struggled at that time with, was a sense of scale, right? Because especially on the big screen, this movie had a very big sense of scale. Like you knew how big, like you felt how big these ships were.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
This stills unfortunately missed a lot of James Rebhorn, the defense minister, but he was pretty good character. I like the fact that he was slave. Yeah, let's fire all the nukes now.
Yeah, he just wants to nuke everything. Yeah.
Exactly.
By the way,
who else?
don't care.
Who else
remember-
loved the Pearl Harbor scene at El Toro?
Yeah.
Yeah,
That
When
was
the,
a perfect reference.
Fighters
Yeah.
come in and start shooting the planes on that are up.
These
on
are
the
great
deck.
shots. Yeah. Now, Tom, is this miniatures or is this?
Yeah,
As far as
what
I
is
know,
those?
yeah, this is all model shots. Yep.
Dude.
Everything I read on this is this is all actual.
The
like,
ship might
blue
be a
screen.
digital map painting, but I think it's a model as well. So
Well, and see, the thing I was just thinking there is like the scales they'd have to go to make that ship believable in scale to the fighter planes, like, would be crazy too. And
they
people
had a
these
bunch of
days-
different stuff built. Yeah.
Yeah, and that's one of the things that like these days you'll never see again. Like they'd
You know,
rather
like-
actually crash an F-15 or an F-16 and then actually, put in model work.
Now
You
back
know?
up if you can, like 2 or 3
Yeah.
shots there where you seen
I
the
got it.
city ground and where the 2 planes swoop through. Like
Yeah.
there's another where the city, the ground part
Go back to you.
is a miniature, just a miniature set built, and then the 2 planes, the plane and the ship that fly through or whatever, is a model. There's the 2 models and they're composited in the
Yeah,
computer.
it's
So like,
composite shots.
yeah,
You're going the wrong direction, you
Coming up.
yeah, it'll be coming up here in about 3-4 clips here. Yeah,
Nah,
but they're just dropping like flies. Yeah,
Yeah, look
We're
at it.
losing it.
Dude, look how
Now that looks like
insanely
a matte
good these
painting to me.
shots. Seriously.
I got you, Big Daddy.
This
There it
one,
is.
Tom? Yeah.
yeah. So that's a miniature city there. And that
Okay,
fire
that's a
might be
really
CG
damn good
element
looking
actually,
Kansas
but
City. That looks so damn good.
This looks so good.
Sadly, the only thing that got destroyed was the homeless camp.
Oh no,
That's a real shame. Where will they go? Oh, that's right.
So
And
We're
Chaz, don't forget
solving
about
that
Chaz.
issue by arresting
Yeah,
them.
Chaz.
So that's fine.
So I mean, I haven't seen this in the cinema since it came out. So I know Tom,
Really?
you saw it too, and it looked and sounded great then, and this is 1996 technology in cinemas. I wonder what it's like now in one of these amazing screens.
I wish they would re-release this in special edition in
Like,
the
with
theater.
Yeah, it would be nice.
See,
with all the incredible stuff you can get in certain screens now.
and
Yeah.
if you
Just showed in
look-
the Sphere in Las Vegas.
that's a good
Oh,
point,
shit,
Vince.
yeah.
Oh,
That's a good
dude.
But dude,
Oh, if this
like
playing
think
in
about how
Vegas-
much money they would make if they re-released this on 4th of July, updated and nice and all this
Oh,
other
yeah.
shit, compared to all the other garbage that's coming out right now. I get that Inside Out is now $1 billion movie, but that's a kid's movie. You have to expect that kind of performance when it's connected to a high franchise. But when it's Independence Day, if you re-release this just with HD, like 4K or like whatever, in even 1,000 theaters, you would probably make several $100 million
All the
off
Atmos
this movie.
stuff and the ATX and all that other.
Oh, here's that scene.
All right, I'll bring it down.
The
Yeah,
airbase
this is the
gets
Pearl
hit.
Harbor scene here. Yeah.
So this
I
movie
love this, dude.
domestically at the time was originally released domestically, and in '96, now is it? I think the biggest movie of '96. It was a top one or top two. It did 300 million domestically in '96. Adjusted for U.S. inflation now, that's almost 750 million. I think it's like 740
Dude,
for to be exact. And then you add in, and this is not even including the worldwide total. If you add in the worldwide total, this movie would have been 1.3 or 4 billion dollars, maybe 1.5 even. Dude,
And
that's
they'd
like
still
Top Gun
make-
Maverick numbers.
Yeah, and they would still make a good chunk of change if they did that today. If they
Yeah.
did,
Oh,
if they
yeah.
released that special edition in select theaters or whatever, people would flock to go see it because
Ooh.
they're dying for good movies and they're already watching old shit. So why not go see the old shit on a big screen?
This is the
Yeah.
question we like to all ask ourselves, Stephen M. Cal. How do we go from visuals like this to the flush?
Digital.
Yeah.
Everything
I,
went digital.
am going to say an over reliance of digital because
Yes.
the thing is, I think Tom nailed it really good earlier. Was talking about the spots where it was digital. Those spots where it was digital, it was used as a moment to enhance a scene, not to be the sole relying factor. That's one of the big difference. It should be like the equivalent of, as I like to say on here all the time, icing on the cake. But now it's just this
Yeah.
thing where everything looks so CG and everything's perfect and clean
That
all
was
the
a
time.
forced
Uniforms,
perspective shot.
uniforms don't get dirty anymore.
I would like to point out that this is also because they didn't rush the graphics and production.
Oh, that's
not
our
like a
thing,
modern
too.
project
Yeah.
where they're all like, well, we have a 5-year movie. We need it done in 6 months.
Yep.
And it's like, okay, well, I'm sorry about the CG that's about to
That's
come across.
true.
The
We
eye
do-
cancer you're about to see is because we rushed the rendering.
That's
Because you wanted an 8K
Yeah.
movie.
all right, 70s. I got your clip.
Welcome to Earth.
Welcome
Yeah.
to Earth. Thank
The
you,
thing that made
70s.
Will Smith a star, right there.
If
That's the
he would
moment.
have, if he would have done that to Chris Rock, I would have respected it.
Yeah,
Oh.
bitch slap that pissed everyone off.
Oh.
It's like, dude,
Hey,
I know
Tom,
you
you
can
might
punch.
have-
I watched you punch that alien.
Yeah,
Come
Tom,
on.
you might appreciate this in the conclusion where they, where he says, "Tell the world how to bring those sons of bitches down," and they contact Japan. You see the Japanese, right? See that scene where they're receiving the
Mm.
message in the military theater. I blurt out, "They say Gojira," and just everybody fucking lost it.
We forgot the great follow-up line after Will Smith Deckman said, "Welcome to Earth." He said, "No, that's what I call a close encounter."
That's right, yeah.
That was one of my favorite
That's like
lines from this
that's
movie.
literally an
Well,
Arnold line.
it
but
is
so
spoken
good.
by Will Smith.
It's funny.
Because that's
It's an
what-
important sequence though because it shows that they can be beaten.
Yes, it is.
That
This
they're
is
not
true.
invulnerable and they can be beaten.
Oh, that's what I call a close encounter. I can hear Arnold saying
Already
that line.
saying it, yeah.
I can
Right.
hear him say that. It's literally the most Arnold line that Smith has ever said. And Eric K for $5. What's up, Eric? Says
So I'm
they
assuming
should
this
always
is
release this July 4th weekend. Printing money. Ooh, dude.
Oh yeah,
Nailed it.
Right?
every 4th of July, make it a thing.
Facts.
Yeah.
Facts, my dude. Thank you for the $5, Eric. And then TZ for $5 as well. I love how our great buddy TZ has got an American avatar, and even though he's a great Canadian, we love our Canadians in the sphere. But it says, question for Backdoor Gerry: do the aliens probe humans in the butt area?
You know, I got to tell you, I don't know how anybody would know because they're usually put to sleep at that point. I just fall asleep because I'm just so used to it. So I
Yeah,
don't know.
see, in order to get more data off of Gerry, they actually have to spit roast him. See, he understood what that meant. Yeah. Do you need me to explain that, or do you care about monetization?
No,
This dude's already screwed. Just go all the way. Go all the way. We're already
Spit
screwed.
roasting. You know what
Tooey.
spit roasting is.
Tooey.
It's one in the back,
I'll just
one
do
in the
that.
front, hanging him in between and making sure he gets a good rotation.
Yeah.
Just saying.
So one more thing about our box office performance as we go on. So the overseas numbers was over 500 million once again back in the day.
96.
Back in
yeah.
we're talking, I think it was,
That's when that was
like
a lot of money.
97, 98 because they had a much later release date. I can't remember the actual proper release dates, but regardless, it did half of $1 billion in the 90s.
Yeah.
Dude, that's probably $1
It
billion.
was
alone now.
gangbusters in the UK. I mean, I saw it multiple times.
And this is
Well,
an American movie, Americana movie. Go ahead, 70s. I just want to add that part.
No, I was just going to say it was big business in the UK because it was a big budget spectacle movie everyone wanted to see.
Yeah, and everyone should be proud of making enough money to produce a single episode of The Acolyte.
Go ahead, 70s.
No, just that's all I was going to say. And it did, and the fact that it was Independence Day, July 4th, and very patriotic in that sense. Although it was at the end, it was human patriotic. People loved it. So
I love how many
loving it.
people in Scotland love the idea of Independence Day.
Well, and it also went on to be the highest selling or biggest selling video of all time for at least a little while anyway, too. And then here's another bit of trivia. I didn't know this. It was originally scheduled to air on Fox on September 16th, 2001.
Oh,
but was canceled.
Oh, I couldn't, yeah.
Yeah,
Instead they aired Something About Mary.
You know, Something About Mary. Weird.
Wow.
By the way, I just did a calculation. By today's standard, that would have been over $1 billion.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, this movie was definitely $1 billion film back in the day. Like when this movie came out, they were talking about it overtaking Star Wars and shit as the highest grossing film if it kept going the way it was.
So now that we take the overseas number of adjusted for inflation with the domestic adjusted, you're talking somewhere around 1.6, 1.7 billion. Holy crap.
Well, that just shows you how bad the sequel failed.
well, let's think about this though, because today ticket sales are sometimes 4 times as much as they were back then, even removing inflation. So they made $500 million with tickets between $3 and $7.
Yeah,
dude.
Yeah. Well, a lot of people saw this twice. A lot of people saw this 3 times, and then there was a word of mouth that got around about this. And once again, everyone and their mother wanted to say it didn't matter if you were right, it didn't matter if you were left, you're in the center, it didn't matter if you're Christian, if you're agnostic. You cherished a good movie simply for what it was. And dude, and once again, I was living in Berwyn when this came out, which is literally a small town right next to Chicago. Some people still mistake it for being a part of Chicago to this day because it's very gangster as well. But
nice, lots of
oh yeah, it does, and it was also 15 minutes away from the United Center where the Bulls played, aka the Jordan era as well. So another mistake for being considered Chicago. But point being is, everyone was looking forward to this type of movie at the time. Like adults, teens, kids. Like it really was. Tom nailed it. It was like going to a concert.
Oh, it was a cultural event. It was a huge cultural event.
It was a huge.
This is one of my favorite scenes in the whole movie. I was bringing this up earlier, but you knew then, and you did nothing.
Yeah.
Don't you talk to my David like that.
It wasn't for my David, none of you would be here.
Yeah, I wasn't expecting this when I saw it as well. This whole twist, this way it went.
Yeah.
It was a little bit unexpected. I was like, oh, that's great. Now they're bringing in
bodies.
Roswell. This is good. But you know what? I want to go back to Jeff Goldblum's objections to using nukes. So he's like, oh, well, we'll just destroy the planet. Well, the planet's being destroyed anyway. Wouldn't you try it? I mean, wouldn't you say, what does it matter? We might as well try.
Right.
Well,
That's
and I
what we
understand
kinda
where he's
thought.
coming from, though, because it's like that's the whole thing is because they blow up Houston, and now after this movie, Houston won't be livable for quite a while.
Yeah, which those of us who who lived in Dallas would say, great move.
Yeah, that's a good move. We'd be fine with that.
Dallas wouldn't be that great either.
But he also comes around to that idea, Brian,
can
later
you get
on.
Austin too? Can you get Austin?
Hey,
But nobody talks about what the Russians, the Chinese, the Brits, and the French are doing, because they all had nukes too.
Well,
So no
notice
one's-
in the movie they show you they were sitting around waiting for us to decide what the hell we're gonna do.
What about bloody time, innit?
Yeah,
That was
I know,
one of my
right?
favorite things.
I thought, come on, you'd certainly be doing something yourself, not waiting.
Well,
you know.
especially the Chinese would be. Fuckers would
That's
be
right.
differently.
Well, they're
Yeah,
waiting
no
for the
way.
Americans.
Well, and you know how they explained it was one of my favorites too. You know, we're getting reports of fighter squadrons hiding all over the globe. And it's like, so you guys are the only ones out there doing stuff?
I know.
Like, everyone else saw you get your ass
course.
kicked in the first 5 minutes and went, we're going to go hide.
Yeah,
And we're going to wait.
We'll just
All
wait.
right.
that's
It'll be
exactly what
fine.
happened.
This
He
was a
goes,
great
such
section.
a French move.
Yes,
It's such the French had already surrendered to the aliens before they even.
they don't even have an air force,
fired
do
the
they?
first- Yeah. Oh.
Monsieur,
Air
we
forces, they
shaded out
actually
streets
blow
for
into
you.
the sky.
So this was great though. The whole which part, you know.
Yeah.
Well, it's not completely true.
Yeah, which
Wait,
part?
which part?
So,
All of it.
So that
Yes.
means 70s, by your logic, Jeff Goldblum didn't only have another character growth from the faith aspect and his relationship with his dad, but as far as what he's willing to do to help get the job done, because he was one of those guys who was so held up in his convictions that, well, it wasn't going to get the job
Yeah.
done no matter what he wanted to not
He-
do. He realized he needed to go against his own beliefs. Even you can even make a small argument towards him doing the cigar, because that whole idea of, I never thought this would be the thing,
Yeah,
this
I
is the
thought
thing
these
that I thought
would
would
kill
kill
me.
me.
Yes.
Yeah. So
Well, and like I
Well-
said, he even comes around to the idea of the nuke idea because that's when he's all drunk and pissed off, and he's like, "If we destroy the Earth enough, maybe they won't want it." Well, that's kind of what he's thinking at that point. He's like, "Well, you know, we fucked
yeah,
things up bad.
you gotta make
Yeah,
him
but-
not want it. That's
Well,
the whole point.
But I did like his journey from nerd geek guy to swaggering hero with the
Oh
cigar,
yeah.
looking cool next to Will Smith.
And I'm
I
pretty
gotta
sure
say-
that guy with the cross and the Bible, I don't think that's in the theatrical cut.
That's
so that was
the
one shot.
extended
Not-
edition.
Yeah, that's an
Yeah.
extended
Yeah.
cut. Yeah.
I would like to say that someone should have taught Will Smith how to smoke a cigar before filming this movie, because the way
You'd
he
think he'd
held
know
that
by
cigar,
then.
you would think, because given how much pole he probably smoked to get there. But you know, I'm just saying, like, you know, the way he
Not
held
that
that,
there's
I was
anything wrong with that.
like, sure, why not? You know, in the second one, the stripper lady became a doctor. I'm sure that's how she got there. So why not?
Right.
You know, but like he looked so stupid with that cigar in his mouth. I was like, what the fuck is that? Like every time I watch that movie, I'm like, God, he's dumb. Like,
Yeah, that isn't really believable, even though it's his tradition.
We have another great moment I want to highlight here between Will Smith's not wife and Mrs. First Lady, where they have a conversation, and I think we kind of
The
skim
dancer.
through it, but it's fine. It's where they had that conversation where she said, "Oh, ballet."
they haven't got there
And she's
yet.
like
Mm.
exotic.
They haven't got there
What?
yet in this. This is his hissy fit about being.
Oh,
a-
and this is for real, by the way. This
What
is
is that smell?
an ad lib. It's an ad lib line because of the smell of the salt flats. It's,
Oh yeah.
Yep.
It stinks there. It
So when he
stinks
I
said
know,
this,
man.
it was intentional. It wasn't just like, oh, hey, he's saying it because nope, it actually smelled dead shrimp everywhere, What's that, dude? I remember laughing as a kid. I was like, "Why is he singing?" I thought I would assume it'd been the body of the alien or something.
He's taking a bit of a risk here, flagging down these redneck RV drivers.
Right, dude. I thought the same thing. I'm all like, bro, you're a black dude, and I guarantee you're the only black dude on those salt flats right now. Like,
yeah, but we were so fucking racist for so long. They probably killed him off screen. We didn't just see that part. That's all.
I know. It's not like the 90s actually taught us how to actually coexist for a little bit.
It was like the 90s didn't have a black man leading all basketball and everyone loving him as well.
Will Smith thought he was Eddie Murphy in that scene.
Yeah, and at no point, I don't think at any point does it come up that he's black.
No, it's never, ever
not a single time.
Never mentioned.
Nobody cared. Yeah,
nope, nobody cared.
I will say,
good God, how could we have been so colorblind?
So wait a minute. Do you think Eddie Murphy would have been good instead of Will Smith?
No.
No,
I think it would have been about.
I mean, Eddie Murphy could have delivered about 3 lines well, but I wouldn't have believed Eddie Murphy flying an alien spacecraft into orbit. No,
okay, I think that's the bigger thing is him believing him as as an Air Force guy, or whatever. Yeah,
he would have been better more so in Goldblum's role than in Smith's role. In my opinion,
yes,
you've been more suited for Goldblum's role.
Yeah,
I agree with that.
This is where Adam Baldwin comes in. There,
because I can buy him as that.
Yeah.
I got
he's Air Force static free. Open the fucking door, kid. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Dude, I love that. That's where you know this president means business. Once again,
that's what I love later on. He's like, "Is this glass bulletproof?" Nope. Boom, 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 boom.
No, I love that line. Yeah. Then shoot away, fire away, kill that fucker.
But all credit to Brent Spiner.
Oh my God!
In this whole bit.
Oh, it's Dr. Aiken. Yeah.
Yes. Oh my God!
Talk about the long-haired guy.
I love how awkward he is. Yeah, it's
Data,
bro.
Oh yeah. I got confess something.
From Next Generation.
It's like he's not used to talking to people. Is the way I like it.
They don't let us out a lot.
Yeah, there he is. He's in the foreground on the right with his.
I had no idea it was Data until
there he is.
There it is.
Until yesterday.
Really? He's all excited when it turns on.
I remember talking to him about this. The sequel he was talking about more so when I saw him at Star Trek thing. But at that point, I don't think the movie had come out yet. So he's like, "I'm in it," and everybody's like asking him, "Well, how did you come back? Because we thought you died." He's like, "I can't tell you. You have to go see." So yeah, and I mean, I was watching this time. They never really do say he's dead, but you get the impression that he's dead. But yeah,
right.
Was he wearing plot armor?
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, and I just wanted to talk a little bit about sequels real quick because I don't want to talk about the sequel we did get. Okay. But like at the time this came out, they kept promising us another Independence Day like every couple of years. Like we're going to do one of these every couple of years. They definitely had a trilogy planned at the beginning, and it would have made more sense to do a sequel closer to the original because because by the time you get to the one we have now, they have all sorts of problems. We were talking about that earlier, but could you imagine the aliens coming back when we were still half-assed devastated? It'd be like a Godzilla -1 situation.
Yeah.
It'd be great. Yes. It would have been the perfect timing to do all that.
I so wanted it to happen.
It would have made far more sense, and it would not be. You don't want to have them come back 20 years later on 4th of July.
Well, they saw
this really weird and like way too convenient. Not that anything about having your city being blown.
Oh no, the sequel had come out. That's right. Yeah, he had pictures.
They would have had to have brought in the Navy and Tom Cruise.
Yeah.
Then they would have fixed it.
Now let's talk about the things that this did spawn. I have no knowledge of these things, but I'm aware of what came out because of its massive success. A lot of books, and I did have some friends whom I worked with when I used to work at a Borders who were fans of the Independence Day books. And I know there was a Marvel Comics series as well. And I don't know who did the writing on it. I did see some of the art. The art was pretty good on it, actually, shockingly. And I've been told that the series actually didn't suck. Honestly, I've never read it, but I've heard that. But I think for me, the big takeaway was the alien toys. Like, dude, they were so freaking awesome. I remember seeing those things like, dude, these are badass.
This scene right here, I love how he tries to like be funny and just totally falls flat
Freak show.
with the freak show thing.
Uh-huh.
Like, it's one of my favorite moments. It gets me every time because he's all like, or with some of us call it the freak show, and he's just waiting for them to laugh or something, and they're
Contestant
just
number-
like, "Are you fucking done yet?"
Contestant
how-
number 1 is from Virgo.
I like how he says we've had some of the best like 48 hours, and the president's just like, well, for us, this has been the worst 48
Exciting.
hours.
Yeah, the last 24 hours have been
Yeah,
really
exciting,
exciting.
sorry.
Yeah.
You get the
People are
point, though.
dying out there. Yeah.
Yeah, you get the point, though. It was just funny to see one guy being so excited, and then the other guy's just like, "There's nothing great about what you're saying." Like, I was
Well,
like,
it's a good little
man.
it's a good little bit of exposition because it tells us that they are, they're oxygen breathers. They actually have a body that can be damaged, etc., etc. They're not unbeatable.
70s, you hit on something great there because once again, it shows you in a movie that's being sci-fi, being disaster movie, and being an action movie, there's more meat to the bone. Because usually when you see like let's just say a disaster movie, and of course in the 80s, an action movie, they were things you rolled with just to get from point A to point B. But there is more substance to this movie than
I think it's
doesn't
very
really
well
ever
written.
get credit for. It
It's
doesn't get
Yeah,
it
it's
doesn't get
extremely
credit
well
for
written.
that. It's always
Well, I
written
think
as
Dean
idiotic
Devlin is a
blockbuster
very
that's
good
a fun
writer.
time. There's a lot of even the critics who even gave it like pretty favorable reviews, but a lot of them said just roll that it's a good time, even though it's dumb. It's just like I strongly disagree with the part where you say it's dumb, and I'm like, this movie's actually a lot
It's
smarter.
very
There's
smartly
patriotism
written.
in it. It's patriotism and it's a B movie. So critics automatically dismiss it. And that's one of the things that irritates me about critics.
Yeah.
Everything has to be like an A movie for them to pay any good attention to it or give it any good credit.
Well, Gary, this is why I kept for a while there kept bringing up Roger Ebert's reviews of movies we were talking about on Toxic Tuesday, because it was like, this is automatically a movie Roger Ebert would hate.
Yeah. Which
Yeah,
is
I like-
why
here's-
when I knew Roger, I
I
made
like
fun of
this
him all the
stuff.
time.
This is great.
Here's a fun bit of trivia for you guys.
Do
The
it.
futuristic looking computer in the control center in Area 51 is actually made up of components used in previous films such as The Time Tunnel and The
Oh.
Towering Inferno.
Nice.
So it actually had a little
Wow.
bit of disaster film history there. There you
Cool.
go.
Yeah.
I love the security clearance bit here.
And I was wrong
He
about
shows him the alien, and they go, "Okay, continue."
And I was wrong about the White House being built for this movie, although I'm right about it being used for many things, including, I believe, the West Wing, as you guys brought up before, and many other productions. But it was actually built for the American president. I forgot that came out the year before, but yeah.
And it's been used
Yeah,
heavily.
when
in
you
the
get
last
something like
4
that, you don't
years.
get rid of it.
It's been
Yeah,
used
right.
a lot in the last 4 years.
Right.
To
Yeah.
pretend a president is in office.
Yes.
Yeah.
Thank you, Tom.
good.
Whoa, radioactive, gifting 5 memberships, but
It's a
not
radioactive.
just any memberships, but 5.
Huge! It's gigantic.
Thank you, Radioactive, for
Yes.
gifting 5 huge memberships to Phantom Outsider, Jonathan Conroy, Pinochet's Helicopter Tours, Penny and Davina Duckworth. I'm sure they are all thankful.
Nice.
You are the man. Cheers and beers to you, sir, and happy 4th of July. Roll the JCVD. Which one? We have quite a few JCVD clips. Like,
Indeed.
Not the twerking one.
You got to prepare me, man. Don't just throw them out there. I might faint.
Dude,
I'm like
he
Arwen Avalon.
missed the twerking Van Damme from last time.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
Just
God.
saying.
Well, we have this one.
Well, I do have that.
Let's
if you
do
want
this
to
one.
watch it.
It's not Van Damme, but it'll hold you over.
Back in the old days, there were Johnsons as far as the eye could see.
And what a lovely sight it was.
All set.
Okay, maybe you should relax now. Okay? Slowly close your legs. Ooh, beautiful. Doing well.
Yeah.
Like he's barbecuing something.
Right.
You guys know that there's a show
Perfect.
on TV called Seven Little Johnsons?
Seven Little Johnson
About a
jumping
dwarf
on a
family.
bed.
Oh my god!
Oh Lord.
They all fell down.
All you need is
Busted
love.
Their heads.
John Lennon got shot in the back. Horrible.
I love that line. Yeah.
Yeah. It's very smart writing. It's really well written.
Yeah,
Everybody's always telling anything.
That's why
I had a conversation with Dean Devlin right around the time of the release of the film, because we had a discussion, because I was in the medical field, and I was talking to him about how he used virus instead of bacteria in his explanation. And I said, and it was a really interesting thing, because he's a nice guy, by the way. You could just email him back then, and he would write you right back. Just a down-to-earth guy. We had a great conversation about his use of virus in this.
I always thought it was a play, on the whole War of the Worlds. They died.
It was. Oh, it was. He said that. Yeah.
Because honestly, let's be real. Any alien with that much advanced technology, it's not like they wouldn't have a million firewalls to be able to.
Exactly.
Red
shirt. They would need to use our internet.
Dude. Red shirt. Red shirt. You did not
be sitting there, and all of a sudden they'd be like, "God damn it, Carl! Did you download porn again from Venus?"
Huge! It's gigantic. Gigantic.
The alien Wi-Fi's got a password on it. Shit, we can't use. We can't.
You're on the damn panel, but thank you.
I know everybody knows
You're
that
welcome.
the password is Earth sucks 5.
I got to tell you, Red
know
Shirt,
that.
That's fair.
You're striking me a little bit as Grandpa tonight on The Simpsons. I just wanted them to pay attention to me.
Well, here's your attention.
Gary, if I want people to pay attention to me, I know how to do it.
Oh, yeah.
I can do the splits, no problem.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, Daddy, like. Yeah. Yeah. Don't stop. Don't stop. Make ginger pop. There we go.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Has anybody seen the Resident Alien?
Yeah.
No,
I
but
love
I know
that
what
show.
you're talking about.
I fucking love that show.
It's fucking hilarious. And he's always talking about E.T. being sexy.
My favorite line in the show, though, because was it Brian said it earlier about Greys? In that show, he says, "Oh, I do not like Greys. They're assholes."
If you haven't watched it, you got to watch it. There's going to be a 4th season coming out.
Ooh.
Oh man, I'm so stoked about it, because the Greys are trying to destroy the world.
Yeah,
I like that.
well, they're just trying to kill us off. They're not trying to really.
Yeah, they hate
destroy the
humans.
world.
They just don't like humans.
You know,
They had Sulu, what's his name, George Takei, to play one of the Greys. That was funny.
Oh, my.
Oh
See,
my.
El Toro, by the way, is the name of his girlfriend's strip club.
I need to get back to El Toro.
By the way,
It's a local
she-
Mexican
let's
restaurant
let you
for us
know,
to go to.
she's a stripper right off post. Because if you
Indeed.
didn't notice, there's a huge American flag in the strip club for a reason, because it caters to Marines.
Yes, that's why he
Uh-huh.
met her. But yeah, it's when he finds out his entire base has been destroyed.
This really sums up the channel. Only on Nick Weiser, where you talk aliens, cool films, and questioning your sexuality.
Well, with you in one night.
Don't question our sexuality, just Gary's.
You
True
goddamn
words.
Yeah,
right. I'm not
we know
questioning
he's
mine. I
gay.
know mine.
True words.
Is there such a thing as
Oh,
sexual? Because that would be Gary.
I'm trisexual.
Yeah.
I'll try anything.
He's so fucking gay.
Again, just a reminder for as a safety tip, you're not officially gay until you do it twice or admit that you liked it.
Or you do it for free.
I do like this quote.
Not really
this-
gay if you
this
don't.
comment.
I've heard it's not really gay if you don't make eye contact.
Oh.
Copy of Windows 95.
Only
brought
queers
them
tell you
down.
that.
Oh man,
That's true.
this is all gone to hell.
This
So,
is
okay.
the scene you were talking about earlier, where she's
Yeah.
all like, "You're a dance, ballet,
Well,
it's like
no,
exotic, you know."
there's two takeaways from the scene, not just that whole scene, because I guess you could say it's one of the closest thing to an underlying form of a message, if you even want to interpret it as that. But I think the bigger and better takeaway, in my opinion, is the fact that they had a conversation that came off as very heart to heart, And she said, you weren't my candidate. I didn't vote for you. But no, she still is there to help her and try to help her live. She's there to save her because she's still the first lady. She still respects her position. And the first lady didn't think anything of it. She just, was grateful that someone was there being there for her on her final hours. And I thought
she recognized her as Laura Roslin. That's a Battlestar Galactica joke. Never mind.
I haven't watched it.
I get it now.
Are you Laura Roslin?
Good night, Steve. Thanks for being your buddy.
But yeah, there's the unity. This is the unity message. Yeah.
Yep. I thought that was actually, and even she was like, hey, yeah, right here. I voted for the other guy, and I thought that was actually, and once again, it felt like there was no like, how dare you? It was just okay, like, hey, you're still here right now in this moment, helping me out.
That's how the democratic process works. We're not a democracy, but we do use the process.
I do like the fact that Dr. Okun here is a multi-specialist. He's an omni-specialist scientist. He can do all electronic stuff, computer stuff.
And he still refers to it as a thingamajig.
Yeah, and he can do autopsies and surgery.
Well, wait a minute. But that's a technical term.
Microprobe thingamajig.
Yeah. He's got all the skills.
In the most compartmentalized establishment in the government.
Yes.
This scene.
Yes.
Oh my God.
And I remember now why I knew he was a senator, because it talks about it in here. Yeah.
In the book. Okay.
He was a senator for Illinois. Yep.
Right. Okay. This is the one I got. That's the one I was talking about.
I'm zooming on you.
That's the 5-star collection.
Dude.
Yeah, that's the original DVD. That was a
that's the
hell of a DVD release back in the day, man.
Yeah, it's great.
Tom in the 70s. Do you remember in 96 when they released on the holographic card, the foil card on VHS? It was the traditional VHS box.
I've seen that. I saw that at a thrift store recently. I should have bought it.
Oh,
I even have some of the Topps cards, but they're upstairs. But yeah,
dude, so cool.
Actually, I'm kind of pissed because I bought a whole box unopened, and I opened them all to see and I didn't get a full set. I was kind of pissed.
Oh, nice.
I'm on the show back in the day. Oh yeah, that's weird.
I'm the voice in your head.
In your head. Out of my head, Tom.
All right, I'm. Don't mind me. I'm highlighting this so I can screenshot as like a quote to describe this channel.
Man.
Now.
I didn't know he was into bondage. Damn.
He's into tentacle porn.
James Bondage.
He just likes the choking.
Well, okay. I'm glad Old mentioned.
Release me.
There's a movie called Independence Day in 1983, and to have separation they went for the ID4. That's why I remember being confused when I was 8 or 9, thinking, why does it say ID4 if it's the first movie?
This used to be a bigger deal back in the day than it was recently, I noticed, because like now you go in and look for like certain movies and like you'll get 20 fucking movies that have come out in the last 10 years with the same title.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
Like back in the day, it used to be a big deal to be able to have a movie that was called something similar. Like you'd have to get permission and stuff to be like, a movie 20 years ago came out with that title. Well, shit. What does Warner Brothers say? Can we use it? Okay, yeah, as long as it's not close to the other movie, right? So yeah, they had this whole idea of the movie taking place on Independence Day. They even added the speech in late in the game, and they were battling it out with Warner Brothers to try and get to use the name Independence Day because they had done some movie called Independence Day that nobody fucking remembered. See, that's the other thing is it's always movies that nobody remembered back in the day too. They try to have to argue about the shit. So that's probably why they did away with that. I'm imagining, or something happened where they were able to loosen that, because unless it's more specific, like I can't remember what the movie was the other day I was looking up, but it was some more recent movie we were talking about, and like I'm not kidding, like 5 different movies from the last 20 years come up with the same exact title.
Yeah, I believe you. They used to take that stuff more seriously. Go ahead, 70s.
There are 3 movies alone this year coming out with the title Escape. 3.
See what I mean?
One of them's Korean, but the other 2 are not. But,
see, and I don't know how because they never used to be able to do that, because that was the thing, is the MPAA would be like, nope, you can't use that title. You got to come up with something else.
Exactly.
You know,
by the way, that movie, the Korean film, looks really good.
Oh, it's really good. I'm going to go see it next week or later this week. Yeah. Nice.
So,
Yeah.
does that mean you could like just submit whatever for the first name to the MPAA? You could be all like, "Hey, I want to call it chicken fucking dumb fucks."
Well,
like,
within
you can't
reason.
do
I
this.
mean, I guess. I mean, they're going to come back at you and tell you can't have that title. I mean, like a good example of that was South Park. Like they had issues because they were going to
Bigger,
call it
longer, and
South Park
uncut.
Goes to Hell, and both Comedy Central and the MPAA were not up on, cool with that title.
Yeah.
And then they changed it to Bigger, Longer, and Uncut, and they got it past them, and they couldn't believe it. And it was already too late for them to do anything about it because they let it go through when they realized, oh shit, that's a dick joke.
South Park. Bigger, longer, and
We had the
uncut.
wedding there. Decided to marry. He married the stripper. He's given up idea of getting into NASA.
Straighter and honest woman now.
So,
Yeah.
this was a funny joke the first time I heard it, but after seeing him slap Chris Rock, I'm all like, "Yeah, tell him I hate you." It's like, oh, okay. Like, everything is colored by that at some
Will
point.
Smith stunner.
Wow.
Oh, the stripper marriage is later. He hasn't married her yet. He's going to get
Yeah,
her.
not yet. He's gonna go pick her up with a wife before mommy goes to
He
sleep.
said he wanted to get to El Toro, the strip club, so he's off.
Yeah.
University of Houston.
Yes. Houston, we have a problem.
Attention command, we are nuking Houston.
Problem.
It's
Nothing
the only way
about
to
the
save
plot.
it. It's the only way to save it.
I love that they say that it's mostly evacuated because you know damn well there's going to be a few of those
Like 3
diehards that
million
are like,
people.
I'm not going
Yeah.
no place.
I ain't leaving my home. What are you smoking? This is Texas, boy. We ain't going nowhere.
Oh,
Now, do you guys know the story about Loja with this? That he refused to go on set at one point because Dean Devlin accidentally told him to check out the movie Airplane instead of Airport.
Oh,
And-
I heard a little bit about
and he
that.
saw
Go
them,
on.
and he watched the movie, and he thought, "Am I to understand you're doing a parody here? I don't want any part of this." And he got really upset about it. Wouldn't leave his trailer. And Devlin was forced to go over and explain to him, "I fucked up. I meant airport, not airplane. Airport. It's a disaster film."
Yeah, that's quite
True
funny.
story.
And I guess the movie came together quite quickly because Dean Devlin and Roland Emmerich had just come off of Stargate
Yes.
when they had just talked about, I guess, to the press during Stargate about how it would be really cool to do like an invasion film or something like that next. And then from there, they got on the idea of, wouldn't it be really cool to have like, a ship that was like 15 miles wide and you could overtake a whole city and blah, 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 blah. So it just kind of stemmed from there. And they wrote the story in, I believe, 4 weeks? I think it was.
Yeah, you're
And then-
right. It's about 4
And then they
weeks.
sent it out on a Thursday or whatever, or Friday. And then by Monday morning, they were already getting offers on it. And there was a bidding war for it.
That's why it brings it back to what I said earlier.
That shit doesn't
Tom.
happen anymore. Yeah.
Oh, it brings it back to what I said earlier when they got this movie mostly filmed within a few months. Nowadays, that's unheard of. And even back then, there's a lot of movies that had production issues. You think just movies like Predator alone had them. Obviously, Waterworld, which was a year or two before. And this movie, for all the spectacle, it was a lot more unusually smooth sailing. And that's, I'm not saying that makes everything about the movie easy, but just compared to other sets that have this large of a scale to work on, a lot of luck was on their side for this movie, more so than others. And our friend Sir Talks a Lot has to pull out, so we'll let him.
Indeed. Hey, look, I'm back on screen. That's great.
Dude,
Gosh.
thank you for being here.
Jesus.
Thank you for
It's
being
not
here,
Jesus.
sir. I love
Thank you for having
on.
me. Yes, I'm glad that I'm able to do this kind of stuff again, and it's great to be back. This is a fantastic movie, and I just want to say once again, don't marry a stripper. It's just not a good idea. Okay, just saying.
Talk to the Marines, man.
Yeah, I know those. Go eat crayons, bro. Go eat crayons. Anyway, yeah. Check out Talks a Lot Entertainment. We're having a good time over there. Tonight, I'm probably going to do another GTA 5 stream because I'm really enjoying causing a lot of people a lot of pain in that game. Yeah, especially with my driving. Ask Awesome One. He'll tell you I'm the best driver in GTA history. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, stay sexy. Don't get murdered. And as always, have a wonderful time.
Have a happy
See you,
4th,
buddy.
dude. I'll see you
Happy
soon.
4th.
And guys,
See ya.
his channel is tagged in the description, so just go click on his name, right click it, and it'll take you there and subscribe to our man. He's
or
probably of all the Dicks division, he's probably the one who's actually the most YouTuber of all of us. Well, most of us are basically commentators. He is the actual YouTuber of the group.
Bro, did you watch any of that last Dicks News US I did?
I sadly have not watched it yet.
Florida man shot down a Walmart drone with a single shot with a 9mm pistol.
Fuck yeah.
Say no more.
Go check it out.
Say no more.
Yes.
Now,
and
if
also,
you haven't had enough said, that's why you sub now to our man here.
yes, and
All
then,
right,
and then of course check out Corey's Corner. The fuck is that? If you want to see some of the weirdest shit you've ever seen in your life. Okay.
All right, buddy.
All right.
Go
see you
plug
guys.
out.
See you, mate.
Take it easy, man. Good
Thank
seeing you.
Such a good dude. I love hanging out with that man. I haven't seen, and then the tragic scene, definitely one of a few of them, and where
It's tragic they
presence-
wasted. It's tragic they wasted an IV on her, knowing she wasn't going to make it.
Well, he did say to her that you're gonna be fine. She's like, "You're such a liar," and of course his daughter's just like, "Oh, mommy went to sleep," and I was like, "Damn." Sometimes that sounds even sadder to say than someone who died or as she left the building or she gone. It's like, bro, that's a hard hitter moment right there. Yep.
You won't have to get mommy a Christmas present this year. That's what he said.
July 4th. So yeah, they're letting you know that this movie takes place within the sum of like 3-4 days. This had to have felt like a freaking eternity for them in these few days. I mean, yeah, when a few whole cities get nuked, I can imagine these hours had to have felt like a year. I'm sure some people aged like they aged a few years in this process. Seriously, I can't imagine living through something like this for even a few days. It's absolutely nuts. Thank you, Matthew. It's what I've been trying to say here. Like, this is his less Goldblumier role. I've said several times, and it shows within this arc that he has with that. It's a really great side plot. It really is. And then of course his way of figure out the whole blocking, getting access to the shield with the Coca-Cola can. Oh, I love it. Whoa. That should have been taken out of context and clipped. 70s. Get everybody off.
What was that, sorry?
If you go back.
Sorry, yeah. Hang on.
It's okay.
I'll go back to here. It's hard to go back just one or two.
It's okay. I went back for us, but it was just the funniest thing where it says we gotta get everybody.
We gotta get everyone off before this thing gets blown. Before this thing's blown.
It's just
either
one
that,
of those
either that, or do you have a gun? Yeah, I'd make my girlfriend very happy.
Good night, JT Kirk. Thanks for being here, man. Appreciate you, dude. What's the matter with you? Okay, let's see if I can see.
It's really Judd Hirsch that's the savior of the day. That's twice, 2 or 3 times he's made the right suggestion or asked the right question.
Oh, I must. Did I really? Whew, that is homoerotica personified. Maybe he was watching.
Who is he talking to, though? Will Smith?
I don't know.
What's Bond doing?
I think he's attempting re-entry, sir.
You guys aren't going to start sucking each other's dicks, are you?
My name is Bond. James Bond.
James.
Oh, now we can move on. That's
Sergeant, give me your piece.
they can shoot that thing off.
Can you shoot off?
Oh man. I heard that after this movie came out, apparently antivirus software became apparently hugely popular at this movie because apparently they're using the antivirus to, get rid of the force field to get into the ship. I was like, bro, I don't know about you, man, but I was 12 or 13. I thought Y2K was psychotic sounding. I was like, this to me just sounds like it's right for a movie, never to translate in real life. What were people thinking?
Were there any Y2K movies made?
I'm surprised. Was there? I don't know.
There was. No, I don't know. There was a show called Millennium, wasn't there? But
I don't know what you're talking about, Cosmic Fader. I think obviously post Casino Royale, Daniel Craig was the gay moment. I laugh at my own jokes.
Was it Albert Finney and Daniel Craig, perhaps? I mean, it was an intergenerational gay moment.
Oh, I see. I was talking about the four movies that followed Casino. I was just talking about that was the
one big gay love fest. Yeah.
Well, from him riding in back of the motorcycle, I saw that the scene of that online because I didn't finish the last one.
It was terrible.
I forgot what it's called.
Please help me die. I think it was called, wasn't it?
Please help me die. Oh, please. Oh, even Roger Moore, who looks like his last movie where he looked 20 years older than Craig his last movie.
Well, you just got to think about, is that one of the Q's job is to help what they call assisted self-deletion?
The shame about that movie is they wasted one of the best locations they've ever had in a Bond movie, which was the Battleship Island, the abandoned mining island off the coast of Hiroshima. They absolutely wasted having that in that movie. It's such a great location.
I remember when Best Buy had the please make sure you turn your computer off before December 31st, 1999. So I remember seeing that thinking, this sounds crazy. People are actually buying this. And once again, I was barely a teenager. I thought everything about this sounded crazy. I will not forget all the panic buying over the water. It's like, wow, thanks for bumping up water sales, guys.
I was working that night because I was the manager of a fairly large systems outfit of a fairly large financial operation. So I was working that night.
Oh, were you? Oh.
Yeah, I'd spent months doing various plans and contingencies. So.
Oh, that's lovely. Keely Chow, it's a long ways away, but next year. Because we got the 2 Daltons we're going to do this year and the remaining 2 Moores. So, and of course, the Lazenby flick as well. And then next year, next year is going to be all about the Brosnan.
I like On Her Majesty's Secret Service.
Her Majesty's has the.
I like the writing. I like the story. But I just hated the effects and everything else. Go ahead. I'm sorry, Red.
Yeah, but it has the best Bond girl ever.
Yes.
Diana Rigg, yeah.
Emma Peel.
Plus, he wears a kilt. He wears a kilt in it. Come on.
I like Yellowface Bond better than
only you got excited about that.
Come on, Brian.
I like this as well. This is
I'm supposed to be the gay guy on the show.
Anyone here can fly a plane. We're gonna.
Oh yeah. Oh dude, the guy who's drunk.
Yep.
I have something personal. Yeah. But anyway, anyone that can fly a plane is going to get in that fighter.
Isn't it funny how characters like him, I guess you could say, aka the conspiratorial guy, the most conspiratorial, then you got him, then you got the conspiracy guy in Stranger Things. Yep. And there's a lot of these conspiratorial characters who are in a lot of these movies and shows, some of the main heroes and the characters that they have you rooting for who end up being right, but yet ironically in real life they are the ones they want you to frown upon the most. So I'm like, that's quite the like dynamic. Like, how is it in the movies that they're the characters who are right, but no, in real life you gotta revile them. You can't believe a single word.
I always thought that the bit there where his ex-wife, or indeed maybe still his current wife, says to him, "Why can't you show somebody else how to do the virus so you don't have to go?" He should have said, "You know what? You're right. I'll show you how to do it. You go." I do get excited. It depends, though. I mean, not all sheep are made equal.
All sheep are made. And now, of course, Will Smith he gets married, and once again, another Goldblum moment. Once again, on top of 800 other Goldblum growth moments, that this is the rebonding of the first signs of his rekindling with his lady. So once again, that's why I say, like, this is as un-Goldbloomy as it gets. Because
it was interesting because this didn't really that Will Smith and Jeff Goldblum had very little time to bond as characters. Before this point, it was only after this point they really had a lot of interaction with each other. They had a little bit before, trying to figure out how to fly the controls, but they pretty quickly got those two characters together.
Oh, here comes the speech. I was gonna say something, but I'm gonna hold that thought for the greatest speech.
Yeah, this is the Mel Gibson moment from
all
Braveheart.
of movies, not just like in action movies, sci-fi, 20th century, 21st, in all of movies. This is one of, if not the top speech. I remember it felt like it was the freaking Chicago Bulls during the playoffs winning when this scene happened at my theater. I remember this. I used to go to this theater. It was called the Norwich Theater, right outside Chicago. That was where we saw this, and I remember. Once again, it was like I was probably outside of Endgame, probably Independence Day, probably the second most liveliest movie, especially because of this scene alone. You could not top this scene. It's definitely one of those you felt your eyes getting glossy from hearing his speech.
It was the Henry V Crispin Day speech, Gibson's moment in Braveheart. Those are the only ones that come in comparison to this moment. Because it is ours as Americans, this is more important to us.
Yes,
indeed.
I agree.
And there's more to this. So the speech, especially the line about this being our Independence Day.
Yeah,
one of the essential things, there is conflict with Warner Brothers because of their Independence Day movie and 20th Century Fox. 20th Century Fox refused at the time to change the name of the movie. So they said, we're going to go all the way with the speech and add in that part at the end to say, hey, we're keeping this name and this is how we're going to keep it. And they threw in this line here. And apparently this once again, the luck of this movie, this I think got done in one take. Another thing where once again, something oddly about this movie worked out more than others. Like,
yeah, it's stirring stuff.
What an absolutely phenomenal 10 out of 10 speech. Even when I rewatch it, I still feel the rush from this. I still feel that America.
I just got the tiniest clip of it because I kept getting copyright.
Oh, I understand. I know.
So I got a little bit of the end of it.
But as the day when the world declared in one voice, we will not go quietly into the night, we will not vanish without a fight. We're going to live on. We're going to survive. Today, we celebrate our Independence Day.
Oh.
And you know, don't get for that, right? It's not the movie, it's the soundtrack.
Yeah, it's the soundtrack.
Yes.
Yeah.
I will have to remove. So if you're catching the replay, I apologize if I somehow do get hit the possibility. I will have removed that clip.
It could happen, but I did test them all.
But I'm just saying, you never know.
It could happen, yeah.
It happens, whatever. I don't care. I'm glad you were able to at least get that one little slippage of a moment in. But man,
I mean, everyone did get pretty excited at that speech when I saw it. I think Tom said in his cinema, everyone stood up and cheered.
I love the words you choose to use sometimes. It just cracked me up.
I love all the comments. Our underpants day. Did it get hard after that question your existence? You guys.
Tom's left us.
He'll be back.
He'll be back.
He'll be back. No, but dude, this is
Gerry's Rear Independence Day. Independence.
Gerry, if you were in the Navy, would you be a rear admiral?
No, my nickname would be Squid.
Let the games commence. Yes. Let the gay commence.
Let the gay.
But this is it is. But this whole thing is just so stirring. It's just so exciting. It's underdogs, the plucky underdogs.
Not until the fat
Plucky
lady
underdogs.
Oh, okay. I remember one line that stood out for me. Because I remember when I watched the Drinkers review of this movie a few years back, and there's one thing he said.
Critical drinker?
Yeah, critical drinker. Yeah. And I want to mention it because it's really notable. And it's the only part of his, if I remember him saying this correctly. If I'm wrong, Chad, if you watched it recently, you correct me. But if I remember correctly, I think he said he wishes there was more time between Will Smith and Goldblum. And I can understand why, because they do play off each other very well. But however, I actually disagree with them being together more. And here's why. I felt like these characters were guys who were meant to be brought together for a very unique occasion. And they knew they needed to be there for that one moment to finish the job. And I felt like that was a less is more. Keep them together for this one scene. They didn't need to have any other scenes here. I felt like it was that keep it special moment. You don't need any other scenes with them together. This was a keep it special. Less is more. Just do this one scene, but this one scene with them together will be very, very memorable. So I can see why he would want more of that. That's fair. But to me, I actually like that they kept this thing. I actually would not change that at all. I feel like that's something that stayed perfectly in place as was keep them together for the scene.
Gary, was it you was talking about? We're talking about this control panel setup that they've got. Somebody said
no, that wasn't me, but I do love this
from the time tunnel, and it was all cobbled together.
Because it's still the stuff was for the time tunnel, but it was really built stuff that had a look of military equipment, and it clearly still looks military. It looks like something the military would be using.
I wonder if by the time the military withdrew from having any involvement with the making of this movie, maybe some of the guys who were working on the movie had already done enough homework learning from the military that they're like, okay, we know what to do to make it look at least closer to a sense.
Well, they still have a military advisor.
Okay.
Because here's what happens with films, okay? Like Dale Dye, my boss, okay? He's allowed to work on a film. He's working on a film, and it's with Ridley Scott. And then suddenly one day he gets a notice that he can't work on the film anymore because Ridley has made a deal with the U.S. Department of Defense. And the U.S. Department of Defense does not want outside contractors working on the film for doing the military stuff if they're working on the film with the studio. So that's what would have happened. They would have had the military would have been their advisor and supplied all the equipment and personnel.
Okay.
No shit. That's how it works. It's really weird.
Okay.
But they have to approve the script. And they love the script. They just fucking loved it. They just said one thing, please take out the Area 51 because we can't work on this until you do.
And the thing that I had never heard of until I saw this movie. Got me questioned as a kid. What's that? Pure Stage Helicopter Tours for $2. As Few Good Men speech Nicholson gives on the wall. I gotta rewatch that speech. That's a damn good speech. Thank you for $2,
Daddy.
Sir.
What's Area 51? Oh, it's just one of the things your mom does on weekends.
Sorry, guys.
Pleasure.
It's a sex movie.
Juggalo Deathcock. I'm glad you mentioned that line because I love that line where the bringer said, sorry. Oh man,
that is a good line.
Sneezes again. But we're it's the oops thing, and all of a sudden he goes oops. He's like, we're at to work on our communication. So damn.
I love it when he's got the note upside down for the directions.
What I love about that is there's a scene that kind of goes with that that's added in the special edition with Brett Spiner, where he's going through the ship with Jeff Goldblum, and he's like trying to explain what everything is, and he's like going through like, and this is for the propulsion or whatever, and then he pulls on it and is like, well, it was. Because it pulls off.
I think we had that slide.
This is connected to the engine, yeah. And then he puts it right back, and then he's looking at the screen and he's like, this is their code, blah blah blah, or whatever. And he's like, well, frankly, we don't know what the hell it is. You know, like,
which is honest. It's honest. At least they're being honest.
Oh, of course, transparency.
This was all great. I mean, it's a shift again in the movie. Now it's inside we've had disaster movie, we've had the combat stuff.
Back to the sci-fi element.
Yeah.
All the practical effects, everything about the ship it feels like you entered another universe, being the ship, which technically they entered another planet because they're in a ship that's the size of a planet. But man, it feels like you went to another realm. The fact that you're saying Will Smith and Jeff Goldblum are in space right now.
Inside an alien mothership.
Inside an alien ship. That is, man, that's saying a lot in the 90s.
And this is the DMV they're visiting, by the way. So.
By the way, what you just said made me think about something, which is with flat earthers, if that were the Death Star It is the Death Star for flat earthers.
Death Star for flat earthers.
Because it's a lot flatter.
Yes, because it's a lot flatter.
Oh.
Yeah.
Pinochet's helicopter tours for another $2 says Top Gun 2 military advisor forced Taiwan patch in. I heard about the Taiwan patch thing. I heard about that a while in advance, and then I heard
people got pissed about it. I was one of them.
Yep.
And writing and we were tagging the production company about that patch. Put that patch back on there. Don't let China fucking bully you. So they did.
And yes, I agree. Unlike John Cena,
is.
Taiwan is a country, and I've talked to some people
Sovereign
from Taiwan.
nation.
And I've had Taiwanese food. It's great. So shout out to
There's
Taiwanese.
Taiwan and there's West Taiwan, because Taiwan is theoretically the real country.
Now, okay.
The real China.
East Taiwan is China.
This is what I would have liked. Rather than have Smith and Goldblum do more in this movie, they should have done like a buddy cop equivalent. Like this could have been their Lethal Weapon or their Rush Hour. Because once again, I feel like for Independence Day, just this one scene together with them going to space was perfect. But as far as them together doing a whole other movie, yeah, it should have happened. I mean, think about it. It was the perfect storm. You had Goldblum coming in hot with Jurassic Park going to this, and of course Will Smith with Fresh Prince to Bad Boys to this. Why not say, okay, these guys have worked very well together. They both came off big movies, and now we put them together in this one movie where they had this one magical scene there. Now let's spin out to have them in their own thing. They could have made a franchise off of that. Dude, that was the real missed opportunity there. Just saying. Okay. I think it was F4 either way. It's the first use of a Sidewinder. Bryce, I'll check the message soon. I'm trying to get rid of my ID4 thing. Oh my! Oh yeah, the part where they smoking the cigars now, and yeah,
they didn't have a lot of time, but what they did with the two characters, they did give them some nice stuff. And as somebody said in the chat, I think it was Soul Assassin, it's a shame we didn't see those two actors again together, because I actually thought they had potential.
Yeah,
working together.
They could have done a good franchise together. That's why it would have been more beneficial to have done that instead. Have them do a franchise together. And that's the type of team they could have done quite a few movies with, 3 or 4 movies. They could have done a cop movie. They could have done sci-fi action. They could have done action drama. They could have done the possibilities with those two together was practically endless. It really was.
Yeah, it was.
And with them both being huge names at the time too. Yeah, one of the biggest misfires. No pun intended, because we're talking about right now them firing at a ship.
Has anyone got any missiles?
Oh, dude,
I wonder who might have a missile.
Absolutely incredible. The fact that the president is out there fighting with them is really cool. Dude, this president's actually out there. As the president going out there fighting, even though he doesn't get the final blow, that could have been a good but convenient way of going about it. But the fact that they had I'm sorry, Russell Case had him do the sacrifice play, I thought was incredible. And if you notice, and I remember I didn't notice this until I was a teenager later on, he looks different in the scene where he's about to take off the headpiece off his face. You could see he's shaven, because that's one of the few scenes where they did some reshoots on. And that may have something to do with them changing the original ending. But
it works because he looks sobered up, serious, and ready for action again. He's a combat pilot again.
Yeah, because in the original script, they reject him.
Yes.
They tell him he can't because he's got the DTs or whatever, can't go. Too bad, so sad. And then he shows up out of nowhere in his biplane with a missile strapped to it. And that version made it up until the last bit. And then I think they even did a test screening with it, but it just didn't flow right or whatever it was. Or somebody pointed out that a plane that type of plane couldn't do that or something or that effect. And so they just reshot it with the They had him, and I think they were missing him as part of the fight too. So that was another reason why they wanted him.
That's
to
why
be
he comes in right at the end with the missile. Yeah, he's not in any of the other fight stuff. Yeah.
70s. That's a great point about the beard, like taking it off so it makes him look cleaned up for the final fight. It does. He's trying to make up for past failures. Also, not only for past failures, but for the fact that he basically got violated by the aliens.
No.
Now he's gonna pie them, and
now he's gonna save his kids.
He's gonna save his kids and
get revenge.
Go ahead, Red Shirt.
Did I remember correctly where he looks at one point, he's about to go out and climb in the plane. He goes, I picked the wrong day to quit drinking.
Yeah.
And I was getting an airplane vibe from that. I almost wanted him to say, I picked the wrong day to quit sniffing glue.
So this is in the words of my generation, up your
do me a favor. Tell my children I love them very much. All right, you
this
alien
stuff was
assholes.
just so
In the words of my
exciting.
generation, up
So exciting.
yours.
Yeah.
Hey, hello,
Very
boys.
exciting.
I'm back. Oh, dude. It is a very silly moment, but I love it because he just rams right into that ship. I'm like, that's something Gary's
Right up their
ass could
butthole.
Gary's ass could never handle that. That might be too much for you.
Gary has fantasized about that ever since he first saw this movie.
We got one.
Hello, boys! I'm back!
One more time.
Hello, boys! I'm back!
Kaboom.
I don't know how Let's bring it back. Bring it back.
Bring it back. Kaboom.
Oh, dude.
The son of a bitch did it.
Yeah, between the letting off the virus and the mothership, and then they finally figure out how to nail the core, and they all of a sudden Smith and Goldblum are still stuck up there, and then they're like, oh hey, hi alien, like
that's right, yeah,
we like you. They're trying to make small talk with the alien.
Yeah, hi there.
Hey, you'll take care. Nothing but love. No, it's all good. Nothing personal. And the aliens, and also the head alien realized, oh crud, these are humans. Oh man,
that's right. I'm getting fired.
Right.
I like that. I'm fired. I'm so fired. And then it doesn't matter. I'm going to be toast anyway. So.
And our boy Goldblum, yeah, he's smoking the cigar, and he literally says, "This is not how I imagined dying." Like, I love this. Yeah, he went from he wasn't exactly a soy boy. He wasn't.
No, he had a cause.
He was definitely not. He was definitely not a strong man. He was, I guess,
he was actually kind of what the closest you could get to woke was back in the 90s.
Yes.
Next to like a soccer mom who worries about
environmentalist.
bullshit.
Yeah,
He's
environmentalist
and all that kind of shit. Yeah.
This is neat.
Oh, all those aliens! They
Surprise!
took a ramming. Forget the fat lady. Drive us out of here. You got to let go about that fat lady. I love Goldblum. They gave him crap, and he's like, dude, you got to let go with that fat lady. I was just like,
fat lady.
I ain't heard no fat lady. Forget the fat lady. You're obsessed with the fat lady. Drive us out of here. Oh, it's perfect.
It's thrilling stuff. Thrilling cinema.
Thrilling cinema, and they got out there at the nick of time. I love the emphasis of the color of green with the ship. The dark, it's like a dark line green with the ship. I love the color theme with that. And there's that look. It's an American missile. I didn't even notice that till I was an American missile.
But also, how Will Smith is that, and how American Elvis has left the building.
Oh yeah.
Well, someone did say earlier, bring Elvis back to us. So,
yeah, that you're right. The lady on top of the building thing. And all the ships have fallen.
It's very lucky that they missed the pyramids there. You know, it could have been, and they missed the Sydney Harbor Bridge. Come on, I mean, how lucky is that?
Well, nowadays they would have nailed the Baltimore Bridge, and they sadly who they would have gotten. The aliens probably would have been DEI hires too. That's for sure. The aliens would have been DEI hires, and they would have gotten that. It would have been so much worse.
Lots of cities obviously survived, but at least we can be secure in the knowledge that Chicago was destroyed by this time. Because it was earlier they mentioned it was one of the ones destroyed.
Yep.
Well played, aliens.
Nice.
Chicago, not gonna miss them.
And here's one of the coolest last badass moments as we see Smith and Goldblum walking together, looking cool in the uniforms, with the cigars. Yeah, right. They're just being absolutely badass, and the president's there, and he's like, "Hey."
You just know they're getting laid.
Oh yeah, yeah. Oh, it really is. It's a hell of a great way to get the ending, and he's like, "Hey, not bad." And also the president's a fan of the Goldblum, and they got their lovers there, and even the dad's like, "Hey, I thought you said the cigars were bad," and Smith's like, "Hey, remember those fireworks I promised?" And the daughter of the president's like, "Happy 4th of July." I was like, "Yeah, did I promise you?" It's such a great ending. Now, if this movie came out nowadays, this would have 5 endings after. I know I say that a lot, but it's really true though. You would have the Will Smith ending, you'd have the Jeff Goldblum ending, you would have the president ending, then you have the president in mourning because he lost his wife ending, and then you probably would have the people who were mad that they nuked the alien ships activists ending. It's like, how dare they shoot those ships?
We welcome our alien overlords. Yes.
It's true, though. I know it's cliche.
They'll know we're special. We're the special ones. They'll see us.
All right, chat. Anyways, get your scores sounded off on this special American movie. I got one from Mr. Darth Viewer. I saved it because he said he has to work early tomorrow, and I'm assuming he's going to catch the rest of the replay. So for you, buddy, says, have a great night, everyone. 10 out of 10 for the fun and the toxicity. So go ahead and sign off on your toxic scores. Even though I probably argued there's little toxicity, but good little toxicity. But maybe 70s has a counter argument. We'll see.
Anyways, by today's standards, it's pretty diverse for the most part. If anything, it's more toxic because there's too many white folk.
Too many white folk.
The rampant patriotism is toxic.
And rampant patriotism, you're correct about that, yeah.
Well, okay. Well, that's
unabashedly, unashamedly patriotic.
It would be toxic today, that's my point, but back then it was really tame.
Yeah, it was tame.
Yes.
I agree.
But it's not allowed, but it's not allowed now.
All right. Well, I will let Dustin sound off first on his toxic score for Independence Day.
Well, I'm glad that they got that out of the way because I was like, I don't think this movie's toxic at all. And then like the patriotism, I think. Oh, that the patriotism, and then the fact that Randy Quaid died and not Will Smith, and or the fact that Randy Quaid didn't go shitter's full as he went into the spaceship or something like that. But I think for the score, I want to say it's probably just 7 out of 10 just for patriotism.
Okay.
Nice. Now, didn't you say in the group that you had thought you'd seen this, but you never had seen it before?
I don't know. I mean, I watched it the other night, and I'm sitting here thinking, like, I don't know how I wouldn't have seen it, but as I'm watching it, I just didn't remember any of it.
Okay.
Because I want to say I watched it, but I just want to, like, it's one of like the biggest blockbusters of that year. I was like 17. I don't know if I would have gave a shit at 17 at that point, but I don't know. I don't remember
how you reacted to it as basically like a fresh viewing, not feeling like you've never seen it before, basically.
Well, I mean, for me, I mean, there was some cheesy lines, and some of the digital effects they did obviously don't hold up, but that's very few. Just some of like the fireball stuff. Like when it's coming out, like the fireball stuff coming out of the helicopters and stuff. But overall, the movie itself was a typical like 90s blockbuster. Mm-hmm. And I didn't think anything was really toxic about it. I didn't think anything was bad about it. I mean, there's obviously some things like why would you do that? You know, that kind of normal stuff when you're watching a movie. Because Shannon and I watched it together. But I was just sitting here like, she was like, you haven't seen this movie? I was like, I don't remember seeing it, but I was figured that it was a big enough movie I would have had to have.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, so 7 out of 10 for toxicity, just for patriotism.
Okay. Very well. Well, let's get to Backdoor Gerry.
Hey, that's me. I agree. It's not toxic in the ways we typically think about toxicity, but it is, by today's standards, toxic in its patriotism. It's something that bugs me about modern people today is they call patriotism nationalism. It's not the same fucking thing. It's two different things. And I'm absolutely a patriot myself, and I know everybody on this panel is.
Mm-hmm.
And except for Red Shirt, because he fucking hates everybody equally. But you know, as far as the film goes, I'd be at about a 5 for
opportunity
toxicity.
asshole.
That's well, in the Army, we took on the moniker. Each soldier said that we're just like the military. We're equal opportunity destroyers. We hate everyone equally.
Yes,
And
I would have been a second lieutenant forever, and your worst fucking nightmare.
Like, oh God, this guy constantly wants fucking salutes. I want my damn salute. And so anyway, I give it about a 5 on toxicity. And but as far as writing goes, Dean Devlin did an amazing job on the writing on this. And I really do consider this an A movie in a B format.
Okay.
And it's got a great cast, great acting in it, excellent direction. Roland Emmerich's a really good director. He's only done a couple of films I thought were shit. I did not like 2012. I thought it was dumb.
Didn't see it,
but
I knew it was.
But I love that one where
the
the world freezes was really good because it was loosely based on an actual book about a threat that could happen, and so I like that. You know, for the most part, I would just give this movie just across the board 9 to 10 on almost everything except for toxicity.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. That's
all I got to say.
Okay. Red Shirt on your toxic score.
Toxicity. I'm with the crowd here and the panel here. This is toxic only for people who just have a problem with patriotism and from Americans.
They're America haters.
Yeah, America haters. Yes. Yeah, I don't think it's very toxic, even by today's standards. And today's standards, obviously, are what I use when I rate these films. And no, you really can't call out any of the other things that people complain about toxicity. You know, oh, that was this. No, it's patriotic. It is it's the movie that Trey Parker and what's his name Stone from Matt Stone were making fun of with Team America World Police.
Okay, I can see that.
This is the move. This would be the movie that they were making fun of as a parody. This is the movie where the United States becomes, the guys who figure out this is how we get rid of the aliens. Everybody in Morse code. We're going to talk to you. We're going to tell you. You're going to get the strategy, and you're going to go kill the aliens. And everybody's like, "Oh yeah, I'm not going to do any accents. That I'll just get us canceled. Even if I do them well, and if I do them badly, it'll be worse." No, it is the movie that they're making fun of. It is an unabashedly pro-American movie. It is over the top. That's maybe something else that's a little bit toxic about it for certain people I don't want to deal with. But no, it's not really toxic. But it is one hell of a tribute on today, July 2nd. And I loved it. I loved it when I first saw it. I loved it rewatching it twice. This is great. Good movie.
Now, the director they were actually going after was Michael Bay for Pearl Harbor and his asteroid movie. I forget the name of it. And they were wanting to remake it shot for shot, but with puppets. And then found out the legal issues, so they wrote their own.
Armageddon.
But this does fit in it. This does kind of
Yes.
fit in there, but I don't consider it as over the top as Michael Bay's bullshit is.
It's a great movie, Bungalow Logic. You shall. All right, I'm gonna nail through these
This
scores.
movie actually presents the stuff as believable and like a lot of Michael Bay shit. Sorry, Nick. Go ahead.
No, it's okay. I'm gonna nail off these scores, and then I'm gonna pass on to Tom, then 70s, and then I. So Vince Womack, not really a toxic movie. 3, Kingsport Kel, 8 out of 10, Full the President. Juggalo Deathcock. So that feels made today. I'm sure the aliens would be misunderstood here. I was like, that's true. Clay Tomas. What's up, buddy? Toxicity 2. Radioactive. Toxic 1. Jonathan Conroy. Toxicity 10. Watch this movie every 4th of July. TZ. Toxic 8. Mars Monkey Max. He said that he gives the Toxicity a 10. I mean, scene 7. Keely Chow. Same thing. 7. Vulcan Lives. Toxicity 2. Mars Monkey Max, Toxicity 7. I'm curious. A lot of you guys are actually at the 7. That's interesting. The patriotism and the whole part of the Muslim, Israelites, and Brits working together might give it a 9 for toxicity. That's interesting.
Oh, I was going to mention that.
Oh, well, no, you can still mention it.
Spotted. Yeah,
no,
well spotted.
And Piochet's helicopter tour says not really toxic. 10 out of 10 for America. And Deleted Scene says Toxicity 4 out of 10, most patriotic pro-America movie directed by a German. That's true. Mecha J, Toxic 2, Phantom Outsider. Okay, 7 out of 10, Toxicity for the patriotism, but 50 out of 10 is my guess on Death of First Lady vis-a-vis the occupant of the White House in 96. Peter Venkman fan site. Mass Destruction, Major Population Centers 10, 8, Revenge on Aliens 6 overall. And the guys, oh hey, it's our buddy Mark D with a C.
Hey,
What's
Mark.
up, Mark? How you doing? I hope Bingo Night's going, or was it Bingo Night? Poker Night. Sorry, I'm making you sound like a senior when I say Bingo Night. Poker Night is going good. And I love The Rock. That's why it was one of our earlier Toxic Tuesdays. And there's Stephen M. Kellel, Toxicity 8 out of 10 for the patriotism. Sadly, yeah, I know it is sad. It really is. And then Mark D, Toxicity 10 out of 10 because of Gerry and that scene with the alien. All right. I think we got all our toxic scores. If anyone else wants to do it in chat, let me know. I'll just put it on there. I'll highlight it. Tom, your thoughts of Toxicity.
Well, I mean, I kind of already said that by today's standards, yeah, this would be toxic, but by then it was really tame. It was a very uniting film. It was one of the biggest films of all time at that time, still is. Biggest opening of all time till it was beat, most selling videos till it was beat. And I mean, I know that doesn't necessarily mean anything, but in some ways you got to argue it kind of does, in the sense that it means a lot of people related to or liked or gravitated towards this film. It was a film of its moment, of its time, in the right place and the right time. And I mean, it's just sad that we didn't get kind of a franchise or at least one more good sequel after it in a timely fashion, because yeah, that the sequel we got is disappointing. But yeah, overall, I'd say the movie's like a 9 out of 10, just for fun and excitement and how good it's put together. The story's fun and stuff like that. Sure, you can nitpick at it with a few things, but toxicity level, modern score, way high, I guess, but I wouldn't even, that's not even fair to do it. So I don't know. In this case, I'm just going to give it a score and not a toxic score.
You know, Tom, I was thinking we could raise that toxic score by the mere fact that Los Angeles and Chicago, there were 2 cities that got destroyed, major cities. And
oh yeah, they would hate that.
That's actually a good counter argument, Gerry.
To be fair, they did nuke Houston too, which is in Texas. So
and
they balanced that up.
That's
killed
true.
a lot of libs.
They made it a fair playing field. You get nuked, everyone gets nuked.
Everyone gets a nuke.
Everyone's getting nuked. Like the Lego movie, everyone's getting nuked.
That is sort of what Henry Fonda did in Failsafe too. You know, if we nuke one of their cities, we got to nuke one of our own.
Will that be all, Tom?
Yeah, I'm good. Sorry.
Okay. No, you're good, man. Emblazoned 64.
He's reading Playboy
Toxicity
right now.
of
Don't interrupt
6,
him.
Poke Race 6666 10 and 70s.
That was great. No. Intrinsically, in its own right, it isn't that toxic as people have pointed out. However, let's look at it through a different lens. First of all the action heroes are men.
Okay.
There's no women pilots. There's no women
That's
military
true.
at all that you see. Hardly any. All the action stuff is done by men. There's a straight couple getting married in it. How toxic is that? I mean,
And
come
a
on.
gay joke. A gay joke about getting married.
Yeah.
They beat up all those illegal aliens.
One of the few leading ladies in it is a stripper. Right? I mean, one of the
True.
few leading ladies is a stripper in it.
That's true. Okay.
One of the main few. There's not that many women roles in it. One of them's a stripper. The U.S. military are seen as heroes throughout the entire movie. How toxic is that these days? What have I got here? Oh yeah, super patriotic. Obviously.
Oh yeah.
It shows, as somebody in the chat said, it shows Israeli and Iraqi forces working together, which got the movie banned in Lebanon. Hezbollah got this movie banned because how toxic is that in today's environment? Showing those two sides working together. And worst of all, I think, from today's perspective, it's pro-human. The humans are the good guys, and the humans are the ones that are seen we're cheering for to survive. Half of today's activists, whatever,
want us
hate
destroyed.
humanity and want us all to be wiped out. It's all right. It was deleted by homosexual German man. Which great point. Who was actually even worried about Harvey Fierstein? He kissed Jeff Goldblum on the cheek, and they cut that out because he was worried about that. So
really,
anyway, I think there's a ton of toxicity in here by today's standards. So I'm probably going to give it a 9. I think.
All right.
I just
Phoenix
want to
9, 08, good movie. Yeah,
but
10.
as a movie, I'll give it 900,000 out of 10.
900.
Just pick
Okay.
a number that's big.
My quick greatness score, because I don't need to go over any details that we already know. I'm going to go with the 9.1, maybe 9.2 for the greatest toxicity. I'm going to go with a 5. The absolute. So, yeah, we know Houston got nuked, but we didn't just see LA and New York get nuked. We got a pay-per-view showing to it. And we basically had a front row seat to it. And the toxic bomb that they laid on those, and they showed it to us. Holy macaroni. And yes, there's a lot of men being absolutely manly about being men in this movie. And the fact that you have a military guy who's about to marry a stripper.
I know, right?
Always a Marine, though. She could have been a stay-at-home mom with the money that Will Smith was rolling in. But all right, whatever. Fine, we'll still give her a job anyway, even if it is being a stripper. Oh, and the fact that we have the most likable president, and we actually want him to be real and be a president we all would vote for.
He was coherent.
Yeah, he was coherent. Once again,
he didn't say warp speed once.
Yeah, he's the real life me, the president we wish we have versus the one we actually got.
Is he the greatest movie president ever?
Oh yeah,
that's a discussion we could have for hours. But
oh yeah,
there's a good case to be made for it. There's a good case to be made for it. Yeah.
Yes, I will stand long, hard, strong. Not only could. Ooh, if you ever bring back that Sunday show, Tom, you could do greatest speeches for a top 5 greatest speeches. This one would be in them. Just saying. Greatest speeches of movies. Hint, hint.
Most
anyways.
Stirring.
Yeah, I'm going to go around a 5. Because even still by today's standards, it's still just an all-around great time, Americana style. I feel like Top Gun Maverick softened the blow of Americana in movies, and I feel like had it not come out, I would say maybe we have a higher score toxicity for that. But Americana said, "Hey, America," and it succeeded, and then some. And even domestically, the Avatar sequel didn't even match that. Like, yeah, worldwide it did overall, but in America, Top Gun Maverick did better. And oh god, the speech alone is a 1100 out of like 20. Now I know that score makes no sense, but you get the point. You get the point. So, anyways, guys, that is a wrap on Independence Day. We will be back starting early August for the month of the Westerns. We haven't decided which movies will be yet, but I'll make sure at least one of them is fan picked. I'll get a community tab. So keep your eyes and ears open on the community tab. I will do a vote so we can at least have you guys pick one movie. But we'll get a whole month of Westerns.
Are they going to be old Westerns or a mix of new or contemporary Westerns?
Whatever.
Who knows?
Like
Whatever.
Tombstone?
Well, we already did that.
Yeah, we did.
already
Okay,
did
never
that
mind.
one. But other ones, and I will mention that on the community. We've already done Tombstone, so don't ask again.
Right.
I forget.
It's okay. Yeah, we'll be back. Obviously, we've done the summer break last time. This time it's a week or two longer, but I assure you we're gonna be back massiver, biglier than we will have ever been. So you'll feel like we're gone, but we'll be on other streams. And I myself, and about actually as a holdover, I might do something around the 17th, actually around probably like 7 p.m. I'm going to do a show for the movie The Rocketeer. So as a little holdover, Wednesday
man, I love
night.
that movie.
You guys are all
It's a holdover maneuver.
You all have priority to come back. All right, just so you guys know, you all have first come. Since you guys are part of the show, you all have first come, first serve if you want to be a part of that. So yeah, the 17th, I'll be doing a show on The Rocketeer, talk about it because I've grown up with that movie and it's not really a toxic movie at all. But if I can have a show to talk about it, well,
yeah, it's nice break for you, mate, to not have to do a toxic movie.
Yeah.
It's nice for you.
I can untoxify. I
Exactly.
can detox.
It doesn't always. Yeah.
So yes, Western month in August, The Rocketeer, middle of July, and of course, I got Klobby's Comic Shop for the rest of all the Fridays of this month, and I will have videos out as well this week. I will make sure I'm gonna at least have a video or two out every week this month, and that's a goal. Man on Fire is a modern Western,
Great
and you
movie.
promised me. I love. And are you talking the original? Or are you talking Denzel Washington?
Both of them are good, but the second one is better.
And I did promise you we're gonna do Man on Fire this year, but be specific. Are you which one? Because I am aware it's one of the few remakes that I like. I've been vocal about liking, but Denzel. I don't know if I consider it Western. I know it's formalized like one, but I wouldn't call it an actual Western movie. But I get why you say it. Maybe I'll do it in September just for you, bud. Maybe just for you as its own thing. We did Tombstone. I'll dig out the archive for that one, but we did that one, but like I said, guys, keep your eyes and ears open for community tab. We'll do
Quicken the Dead.
Votes. So
I got one.
I'm Raimi.
I've got
good. We'll discuss it between us dudes. And Denzel does deserve a month. Who knows? Maybe that'll be a September thing. Maybe we'll do that. Maybe that'll be a thing. Training Day, Equalizer 3, Man on Fire. Oh, see, I think we just came up with Denzel month right there. Or 3 weeks of Denzel. There you go. So now we got to get our Westerns set. Thank you, Vince. Toxic Tuesday, number 22 is Tombstone. Thank you, Vince. So, or Denzel. Yeah, we'll get a little bit more.
Mountain is Yes, bait and switch mad. Tell him we're doing a different movie and then get him on to do that.
Maybe.
He would just leave.
Maybe. That would be funny.
Why would he leave?
Guys,
It's perfect for him.
anyways, we'll be back in a few weeks. Keep your eyes and ears open on this channel for The Rocketeer as a holdover. Let you know that we're away, but we're not away. with that all said, I'm gonna let these men plug their plugs on the way out, and we'll start off with the roughest of the bunch.
Oh, that's me.
First serve, first come.
Roughest around the edges, maybe. I don't know. Here, let me share my screen.
Okay.
There we go. Sharing screen.
Plug it.
Yay. Saturday, we got Tom and Gerry. That's that Tom guy down there. We're doing Beverly Hills Cop 3. And that'll wrap up our Beverly Hills Cop coverage for the new release of the film Axel F, which I'm stoked to fucking see. I want to see it so bad now. Thursday, I told you about this earlier. Afghanistan American actor Fahim Fazli is going to be our guest. He's not going to confirm because he's not allowed to yet, but IMDb already shows that he's in the new Superman film as an Afghani tribal leader. So he's been in Marvel and now officially DC. It'll be cool. And that'll be Thursday at 9:00. And then tomorrow we are doing the rundown. A much forgotten,
I actually like
awesome
that
little
movie.
film. It tanked in the theater. It made its money in video on demand and shit like that. But in the theater, it didn't even make what it cost. I think it cost $85 million, and they made like 80 in the theater. It's either that or the other way around.
Well received, not just by critics, by audience as well. For those
audiences
who
loved it, highly reviewed. And so when it finally hit video on demand, they made their money back. And currently, Peter Berg's been talking since 2013 about doing the sequel. And he even talked about it just a few months ago, that he and The Rock have been talking, and then Sean William Scott said that he wants to be in it. He said that in, I think, January of this year.
If they're going to make it, they need to actually make it a proper action movie. Don't modernize it.
They got to stick to the theme. They got to stick to the theme. It's a buddy film.
Make The Rock just be Arnold with a Hawaiian skin job, and it'll be fine.
Yeah, I agree.
They don't need
Arnold was in that, by the way. Did you know that?
Yes. He
has that great baton toss to him. Have fun, doing your movie.
Yeah, I remember. And I love that scene because I thought that was, to me, his nod that he was originally trying to pass the torch to him.
Yeah.
But then and Dwayne kept taking all these roles that kind of neutered his career.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, Anima made a great comment while we were watching the film. She says, "This is the first film I've ever watched with The Rock where I think he's doing a very good job of acting, and I actually like him." And I went, "That's good because he is a very likable character in the film."
Yeah, he was. I liked it too.
He tends to be kind of over the top now, and you get bored with him. He's forgotten how to be a good guy.
You're sharing a donut. No, I agree strongly. Gerry, thank you for being here, sir. It's been very fulfilling and divine and a pleasure. Maybe I'll see you here for Rocketeer. If not, we'll be.
Oh, I'm going to be here. That's Brian Johnston, man. I fucking love him. Or Joe Johnston.
Too.
I'm sorry. Joe Johnston was the guy who helped design Star Wars.
Sorry, I lost my train of thought here. We'll be talking in our group chat about Westerns, getting some Western movies going. So it'll be great. And I will see you soon, sir. In your butt or not. 70s.
Yeah, it's Brian.
Hi, he's a break, man.
Thank you, by the way, 70s, for getting the slide together. You did great. And the video clips was well put together, dude. You're a great fill-in. Even for Gerry.
There was over 1,000 slides, so that's quite a few. Quite a lot of slides. Yeah, so I'm just sharing my screen too, if you don't mind. So next Monday's show on my channel, we're going to be talking about The Hitcher.
I hit the notification because I've got to jump on with you. I love this movie.
You're welcome, mate. Absolutely. You're always welcome on any show. So really looking forward to talking about that, and I'll probably be doing a little unboxing of the collector's edition of that movie. And I'm working on a couple of other videos and stuff, so that's about it really. It's obviously Thursday night throwdown on comics Friday night. I'm usually to be found on Ascendant Art channel with Brahma and Little Chad and Slender Dad. Sometimes Loki after that. Don't know if we're doing a bourbon and boarding this Saturday. We do have to do a season wrap up on that. Now the hockey season is over, but Brahma may be occupied Saturday, so it may be the week after. And there's always the Cotton Council and Snow Dub on Saturday night, which sometimes somebody that sounds a bit like me is on it. But next Monday, the Hitcher should be a lot of fun, that discussion. So.
Okay. Well, thank you, 70s, again, for the sliding of the showing. Thank you for being here, sir.
I slide it in. I like to slide it in.
Well, hey, I felt the difference. It was quite substantial. Don't tell Mark. That
a little more girthy than usual.
Mark's way more professional than me. Here's some other way of showing the slides.
He makes you feel it.
He does. He touches the sides. He can touch the sides.
He touches the sides, right? We have some fucked up sense of humor, guys.
I don't think so.
I came in through the back door.
In the ass?
So,
Dustin,
like that, the show just sort of died.
Silence.
I was like,
the ass? Of those images.
You're like, speaking of the ass, here's Dustin. Okay. Yeah, so I'm still struggling trying to hit 5,000. I'm like 140 subscribers away.
Oh, you're gonna come.
It's taking forever. I'm just pumping and nothing's happening. We go live on Tuesdays at 7 p.m. with the wife and I, and we talk, and then I go live on Sunday mornings at 7:30 Eastern. And then I've been slacking on putting out content. I have a bunch that I've started. I've got recorded stuff. I've got half edited stuff. I've just been lazy. It's been summertime and we've been going to the pool and I'm getting a tan,
in the tan,
sleeping in,
yeah.
So just be on the lookout for stuff. I'm always posting stuff. I might show up on Brian's channel here and there, and anybody will have me,
anytime.
I'm a dirty slut.
Available or something.
What is it?
I'd love to get you on over there.
Yeah, let's do it. I'm always willing to come in your back door, Gary.
You got me excited.
You don't want to see all this.
Oh, that's so fucked.
What is it? Wait.
Thank you for being here, Dustin. Eric K. Thank you for plugging his channel.
Stuffs, man. Make Gary proud. Okay, there you go.
And I know he's got Midnight's Edge in the morning, and him and Pablo and Andre been pummeling out more videos like a hooker than ever. Tom, anything else you want to plug? I guess so.
He was there. I think he was talking. He might be on mute. Is he on mute?
Oh no, he saw exactly what I say.
Mike is muted and I didn't realize it.
Oh, you did a type of shot, but anything of note we should know about?
I'm gonna watch Beverly Hills Cop in 3 hours, 2 hours, whatever the hell it is now.
Yeah. All right. And then you'll talk about it in the morning?
The new one.
I will discuss it in the morning, I'm sure.
Okay.
Is it released at midnight?
Midnight Pacific time, yeah.
Okay. Oh crap.
Okay. All right. Hey, thanks for being here, dude. It's good to have you again. It feels like we have a nice filled girthy panel with you here. I can feel the difference. I can like exclusively and strictly feel the difference. So your presence is appreciated.
I named him in high school as long and girthy.
I know Gary felt the difference.
I feel it every time. I'm sad when I can't feel it.
You, Sir Tom, have a magical evening, and I will be in touch with you real soon because I want to hear your thoughts on Axel F.
So until then, once again on my channel, Clobby's Comic Shop every Friday night. Rocketeer show in a few weeks, and I'll be on Thursday and Throwdown on Midnight's Edge After Dark as well this week, and of course a video as well. So, and Toxic Tuesday will be back in August for the month of the Western. So thank you guys for supporting this channel. For the new subs, thank you guys for being here. I saw I gained a few from the show. And to our regulars, thank you for being here. And thank you, Radioactive and Redshirt, for the gifted memberships, and the Pinchet's Helicopter Tours, TZ Burton, and Eric K, Nick the Greek, and who else here? I'm trying to see who else. It looks like those are the guys who super chat. Thank you guys all for your super chats. Oh, and apparently I got one. Oh, never mind. I got the one from TZ about question for Gary. Do the aliens do the probe? We did that. Okay. Yeah. Anyways, guys, yes. And thank you, Eric, for plugging the plugs. Thank you, sir. And I think I saw Mark plug in some plugs too. This is the part where we say good night. We're all drunk. Go home. And we love you guys. And this is going to redirect you to my buddy.
Home, just don't stay, you can't stay here.
We're going to redirect you to my buddy, Price of Reason. So go hang out with him if you're still up and alive and not drunk enough. Good night.